Yo guys, how you doing? Sorry for the very small delay there to start the stream. Needed to reset the bot and the streamer client. It's that time of the month again where everything goes, are you sure you still trust this? It's all good. It's all good. In the chat we got That's and Des, Metal Burner and main unit so far. How's everybody else doing? Let us know. So on the last stream, we started on the Armiger, the Warglaive, and we had some success and we had some failure. There were some points that were really good and some points where everything went really very wrong. Like really very wrong. Des, thank you for the host, and Snake, what up, dude? For instance, we tried out the transparent paint line for the first time on this bad boy. And what we'd done originally was paint this guy in the same kind of bluey grey tones as I paint a lot of my blacks. So if you've seen like Chaplain on Bike that I've done, any of my knights, all these sorts of things, we went through that process. And it was very light, very light in comparison to how I would normally do it. And so we figured what we'd do is we'd take some transparent black and we'd kind of lay that down, airbrush that over the whole thing to knock it back a little bit, bring that a bit more under control. And on this leg it went on really thick, and so we thinned it down with a little bit more flow improver and a load of water as well. And we did the rest of the model, and what actually happened is it took everything from a quite light grey and knocked it all the way down to almost jet black. And so we scrapped the idea that we had for that, and we carried on painting with normal non-ProAcryl paint. So this was a mixture of some Deathless Metal from P3, some copper from Vallejo, and some Elven Gold from Scale that we washed with gloss varnish and some Army Paint Strong Tone. So 4 different companies worth of products to get that to look the way it does now, but it's a really nice substructure for what did go well, which was the painting of these armor panels. We've managed to get a set of transitions from this nice purple up through some sky blue and into a nice bright turquoise with the help of a little bit of teal in there as well, just to make sure we've got a nice smooth transition. And these are the sections we're predominantly going to be working on today. We're going to break out the transparent paints again, and we're going to start working with those to see really what we can do. And we're going to start off by using them predominantly to try and wash in some of the recesses here and get all of that detail into focus. Then for our armor trim, I've decided to not go colorful with it and just do that matte black. So that's going to be hit with some black, little bits of gray highlight in there, because I want to make this the full feature. And once we've got all of that sort of stuff done, all the highlights on these bits, we might even do some freehand today. That might be tomorrow's stream. But we're going to break out the oranges that we've got between these 4 sets of paints. See if we can work up some checks and stuff like that on it. So it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a lot of fun moving forward. So let's get to it. Let's get our palette. Today is Death Guard release day. If you guys have got some pre-orders to make, !element, go and help out the stream and get your Death Guard toys. To be honest, I really want the new Death Guard dude with the Twin Plague Spears. I think he looks sick. He looks really sick. No pun intended. That's a great mini. It's a really good pose for a Death Guard model as well. So I'm going to get that at some point. Next time I do an element order, well, that took a long time to turn up. But next time we do an element order, we will definitely be looking at that. Also, guys, remember, we still need your votes. Exclamation point gift. Because we have updated the straw poll. Now, rather than being what color scheme are we going to paint Kind of Betrayer, clearly one of the coolest Chaos models of them all. Instead of it being that, it's how do you want him based? So I think we have 8. I wonder why we stopped at 8 suggestions on how to paint the baddest fucker in the World Eaters. Go vote. I think in this one you can vote for as many as you want. So choose like the set of different environments that you'd like to see Khan painted up in. He is going to be painted in his old school blue and white heresy colors. Fish, what up, dude? So there's some cool ideas for basing in there. There's some that I'm kind of excited about. There's some that I'm like, yeah, we've kind of done this a bit, but we'll see. Right, let's see what these transparent paints are like for a wash then. So let's just start off with an easy one. Quick line in recess wash. And that isn't a wash. That's still a paint. That's not even trying to drain down into the surfaces there. So we're going to need to thin this quite substantially. I thought we'd already thinned it enough, but perhaps not. So let's really go for it. I do like how vibrant this purple is, though. So that's really thin now. Mike's doing a live game with Death Guard this afternoon. Yeah, it depends on where you're streaming on Twitch, mate. It starts at 2. We'll be finishing around 2:30-ish. It's him and Alex playing, so. Oh, fish. That sucks, man. But, new laptop. You know, can't be mad at that. So now we thin this right down, we get a little bit more ease of control getting into these recesses. And the reason we're doing this stage before we do the line highlights, obviously, which is we can tidy up any issues, any small mistakes. But even thinned to the point where this is a glaze, this is still very powerful. I'm going to paint this bit black, but I want to get inside all of these areas underneath with the purple shade. Could do these black as well. By adding in all those dark colors, we're going to end up with something that really stands out when it comes to all of this area. And that's really the idea behind it. It also helps limit our use of metallics, so we're trying to stay as much within that ProAcryl family of paints as we can. I appreciate we didn't just leave the family, we left the country with this guy. That was very metal, and still have to work out what we're going to do with this. Potential for greens, bones, reds. Could do greys and whites. You know, actually that could be cool. That could be cool. Because that's going to have to fight against the brightness of this a little bit. There we go. So, do these work as a wash? No. Not really. Even thinned out to the stage where I've got them now, they don't really... That's obviously not their job. Marble? No. Nah. It could be done, like, easily enough, but the problem with doing marble on something that's this detailed is you never get the stencil, like made out of that baby wipe. Like, well, it wasn't made out of baby wipe, it was made out of like a cleaning wipe, flush to the mini, and it blows it out. And then you're looking at just painting it on anyway, so you may as well just paint it on anyway and save yourself the time. And painting marble takes a lot of time. We've said a few times that the stream minis we try and get done in 3 streams or so, because obviously we need to be painting commissions. But I enjoy doing stuff like this. I really, really do. and it's going to be a case of balancing essentially my enthusiasm for trying out new shit against time. We are halfway through the month, and so far the only thing we've streamed, apart from the very first stream of the month, I think, was the Minotaur. And what I need to be working on right now is the 6 robots that we put together yesterday. These are our next commission. You see we've done a little bit of work on the bases. We've got a kind of Martian rockscape going on. We've got some crackle paint that we covered up with a load of very, very, very fine sand. And that hasn't cracked very much, which is exactly what we want. We want it to be kind of like an iron deposit. So, yeah, that's a fun one. We've got all of those options magnetized. So for the flamers, all of the phosphor cannons and everything. Yeah, they're cool. They are cool. Jaeger, guess what's cracking for a bit, because I've tethered to my phone for the internet mode, so I won't be able to stick around. Dude, it's no problem. I hope the move is going okay. Jesus Christ, mate. Direct Mystic, we're making a wash out of the transparent purple. Yeah, that's a lot. Last time I moved house, it was after the divorce, and my ex-wife, when she left, she was like, right, you can keep all this shit, I don't want any of it. So I was faced with moving my stuff and purging pretty much everything else. And I filled up 7 wheelie bins full of shit to get rid of. It's crazy the amount of crap you accumulate. Especially as a couple, right? You do this like absolutely never-ending amount of shit. Des, I'm with you. I'd let my next house move to be possibly my last one. Right. Always saving to try and get that mortgage, you know. But that isn't going to be for years. Absolutely is. So the amount we've got this thin now, it's doing okay as a wash. Like it's doing okay to create a shadow where we want it. I still wouldn't call this a wash. But like you saw, for those of you that are subscribers on YouTube, which should be everyone in the chat. I mean, come on, guys, help a brother out. Ryboog, how you doing, man? Give that guy a follow. You should all be following him. How's it going? But yeah, for those of you that are subscribers on YouTube, you will have seen me using Administratum Grey to create our panel wash, our pin lining, our recessed shades on the How to Paint White video that went up yesterday. I was really proud of that video. I thought that was a good video. The next video, which will be a Patreon video, which will go up on Friday, I am fully intending, no, giving myself a little bit of leeway that way, fully intending on that being a guide on how to create realistic chipping and weathering using those robots. And that's going to lead us into a YouTube video the week after on how to take our weathering just a little bit further. So they're going to be some cool vids. There's going to be a lot of airbrushing in the Patreon video. And there's going to be probably none in the YouTube video. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Only good one. That fade is looking awesome. Well, cheers, bro. This was us having a bit of a play around with the ProAcryl paints. I love their paint. Actually, their paints are great. We're trying out the transparent paints now, and like, transparent is a word with a particular meaning, and that meaning is see-through. I'm dyslexic, so you can suck a dick on that one. Like, those kind of words with either letters that sound like they could be in other places or whatever are really, really hard for me. So, deal with it. Still with my parents, my savings are doing shite in my bank, so I don't want my band, I want me to, and jumped on the Bitcoin hype with my savings instead, try and boost my deposits. Fair. Buddy of mine is investing in high-end whiskey, knowing that in 10 years that could still go off to some crazy rich Chinese or Japanese businessman for thousands of pounds for a bottle at an auction. Why not? Well, skiing for the Amiga. So this one is kind of a synth-wavy scheme, I guess. But you could call it that. Essentially, what we've done is we took some dark purple, which I think was actually just called dark purple. Reasonably sure of that. Faded that up using some sky blue, because the actual purple from ProAcryl is horrible, and it isn't purple. Like, this is, when I think of purple, this is the color I think of, right? What I don't think of is magenta, which is what we got. Yeah, we have just dropped some frames, mate. 371 frames just been dropped. Doesn't happen often, but Mindis, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, we started off with purple, worked up sky blue to get us to a you can see on almost any transition between one color and another, there's a point, and here it's just here. You see it right there, where it starts to lose its vibrancy, and it enters this state where it feels a bit grey. It isn't grey. It happens on my yellows and stuff like that. It just isn't grey. But it kind of has that feeling of it, and when you hit that point of transition, there's a couple of things that you can do about it. You can either just power through, which is what we did here, and go very bright with it, so you kind of ignore that band and your eyes just shoot up, or you can start coming in with brighter colors and layering over to try and at least give yourself some bright hot spots to it, which is what we did. For those of you that were here, we did Magnus's sword, the transition from yellow, orange at one end through to pink, purple at the other. We brought them both together, got a bright spot in the middle, and then layered them both in over that, leaving that bright spot. That's what gave us that nice finish to the sword blade. So you've got many options doing stuff like that. But for this one, we just powered it right up to that super bright blue. Thought about doing the old glow. Go to a whiskey distillery, get a bottle of old thing. Apparently it's easy when I first here in Scotland. Yeah, apparently, dude. Apparently. No, Des, it wasn't your internet. Don't worry, dude. Big Brom. It's all good, bro. It's all good. If you want to watch it, they're always on YouTube. We put them up after the stream. There was a period of time, probably about 2 months, where I stopped doing it because what I was trying to do was write like a, oh, here's what you missed guide after the video. And frequently I'd finish filming, clean the airbrush if appropriate, and I'd be dead. Like, I'd be so tired that I just couldn't. And I'd try and remember it in the following morning, and I'd invariably forget, and end up with a week's worth of videos to try and do. And like on this video, I can't even remember what I did. Yeah, it honestly, dude, you go and save your internet and chill. The 19th is Tuesday. It's not a humongous length of time, but having had to use my phone to hotspot in from my laptop and stuff for meetings, I know exactly how quick you burn through data, especially when there's video and audio both coming down. So it's rough, dude. It's rough. Silly question, why would you wash the edges before painting the edges which could potentially cover the washes? Because I'm not intending on covering the wash at all. When I do the edges, I would normally do them in like metallic, right? So either a silver or a gold or something. And then when we wash the metals, we'd put the wash down into the recess here, giving us that little bit of separation, that nice little border. Whereas what I'm intending to do here is just paint them black, like a flat matte black, and then do some quick grey highlights on them. And because of that, I don't want that black anywhere near this area. So we're washing the edges now to give me the separation, so that when I paint the black, we only have to paint just the edge here and not have to worry too much about it. That's why. So there's a method to the madness, as always, mate. Sometimes the method actually makes sense as well, which is what I feel it does here too. But if I was painting these metallic, then we wouldn't be doing this step until way after that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people with their Twitch email that they've got. I haven't got one, which I'm a little annoyed about. I mean, come on, Twitch. Give me some love. Show me what I did last year. I want to see my most used emote being the meat face, goddammit. And I love that a lot of people's most used emote is the meat face. In fact, even Viking, who spends way more time on Twitch than anybody else in the world, I think, based on the screenshot of his Twitch usage, even his most used emote was a meat. So messed on my foot while lugging boxes. Oh shit, what have you done, dude? That sounds horrible. Like, moving house with an injury is rough. The second time I moved house, so I'd moved out of my parents' house, I was living on my own, and then the time I moved after that, I did it with 2 broken toes, because the night before I moved, everything was packed up, ready to go. I was super organized. Super organized. Rob, what up, dude? Doing well, thanks. Everything was in boxes, apart from what I'd need for breakfast the following day. So like a bowl, a spoon, a glass, that kind of thing. Everything had been hoovered, apart from the living room. I was sleeping on my mattress on the floor, because everything else had been dismantled and stacked, ready to go in a moving truck. I was the absolute king of moving house at that point. And I woke up in the middle of the night, thirsty as fuck. Oh, I've got to get a drink. Glasses in the kitchen. So I padded along the floor, opened the hallway door, and booted the shit out of my Hoover that was in the hall. I hit this thing so hard, I cracked the plastic around the bottom. And this is one of the old school Hoovers. Jan, how you doing? Fade Punk, what up? That was designed to be like smashed into skirting boards by bored housewives or something, as their way of releasing their aggression. I cracked that. I broke my little toe and the one next to it. I was done. I was done. The following day, moved house. Oh. Ah, no, wasn't good. Wasn't good. Snake sounds awesome, man. Come on, Bob. How you doing? Jan, up to your tits in spackle. Shit. Sounds like a big project going on there, bro. What are you up to? And you know, a gentleman of your years, I mean, gravity's taken effect a little bit. So, is it as big a pile as we think? Balchode, hey there, Mr. Enigma. What up? Where do we get to? Right here. Well, it sucks to hear, mate. I hope you're able to get some rest now. Assume everything is at least in the right buildings. Never had a broken bone in your body. You've not lived. You've not lived. Oh, nice, dude. Very nice. What's this for? Is this for you or for a client? Let's see. What have I broken? Many toes. Never broken a major bone, like femur, tibia, like any of these things. Des, no worries, bro. Let's see. So toes. I've pulled and slightly torn ligaments in both ankles. I've had 2 severe ankle sprains, and that sounds like the shittest injury of all, but I'm telling you now, I wish I'd broken my ankle in my bike accident rather than sprained it, because whenever it's cold and wet, so snow, for instance, really does me in, it fucking hurts. Oh god, just this like deep pain in the joint. That's bad. And my ankle is still not the right shape, and this was 10 years ago, say something like that. Crack 3 ribs at the same time too. Yeah, that sounds good. I had the lowest 2 on this side. Yeah. This is yours. Faux Venetian diorama for 70mm called Howlin' Kind of Twilight. Damn, man, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. Put it in the whip later on, dude. Let's see. Still trying to work up. Tore my lower constructive ligament, so LCL rather than ACL, in my right knee. Hips have been mostly okay. I did partially dislocate one once, but that doesn't really count for anything. I chipped a bone in my back of my pelvis, right side, when I was wrestling. Someone gave me a really, really shit bump onto the stage as well. They basically, like, I had a match with one of the novices the day before, where as part of the match, because I was worried about us not having a lot of like high impact stuff, I made him backdrop me onto the stage and sold it like I'd been shot. You know, it really took the bump well for him. And the guy that was the promoter decided that he wanted to do that to me. If I was willing to take that kind of bump, I should take it for him. And fucking threw me up at an angle, so I landed on my pelvis. That was not good. And to relocate that bone, I got Lyndon, who wrestled as body count. He was a big dude, about 6'3", 230-ish, to slam me into the turnbuckle repeatedly. It took about 3 times. On the 3rd time, I felt it go back in, and we just like got that thing in. Jaeger says, my whole injury for the bike accident, shoulder blade snapped in half, 3 cracked ribs, bruised liver. Doctor surprised didn't break my collarbone. Well, yeah, that's the whole point of the collarbone, is to protect things like that, and your neck and your shoulder and so on. So, you know, got to be done. Got to be done. I haven't ever really damaged my back. Too many sprues. Cheers for that host, bro. How you doing? Damaged my neck quite a lot with wrestling. Big impact there. Fractured 2 ribs. Bottom left side. I've dislocated a collarbone. That one was bad. That one was so bad. God, it's the worst feeling because it's like right in. You're like, I don't know what to do. I've dislocated this shoulder 4 times. This shoulder once, and I've damaged my rotator cuff in this shoulder. I chipped a bone in this elbow. That was while wrestling. Mystic Enigma, I broke down in the gym doing qualifying in Feb. It's taken 11 months to get a diagnosis. All is well though. Just have to do excessive warm-ups and pay attention to my hip, pelvis vision and lifts and avoid running. Shit, dude. Damn. Jaeger, no worries, man. You go move. Hope you avoid putting pressure on your foot too much. Fingers and thumbs. Shit, there's a lot. So we've broken... Hang on. This finger here, this knuckle, this finger here, I've broken that knuckle and that knuckle. Which one can't I bend? This one. I've dislocated this thumb really badly and broken the knuckle. That was in a bike accident. I've broken this finger here. We fractured this wrist. Oh, little fingers. We broke the end of this one. Oh my god. Your little finger, you're like, yeah, I don't care, it's my little finger. I'm telling you now, you use your little finger for way more shit than you think you use it for. As soon as you fucking grab anything that comes into play, it's like a balance to this. Oh god. Yeah, that's bad. What were you doing when you're breaking all these bones? I used to wrestle for a living, like professional wrestling. I used to say Hulk Hogan and shit, but now I should probably say Randy Orton and shit. And I did it as a living. That was literally how I paid my bills for 4 months. 6 matches a week, every week. I loved it, mate. It was the best fun I've ever had in my life. Despite all the things that hurt, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I trained for over a year before starting it as a job, and as a kid that grew up literally wanting to be the Undertaker, it was heaven, you know. Jay Cena, yeah. I broke my pinky and it was a pain in the ass. No, it was a pain in the hand. The hand, unless... Is that how you broke it? Ooh. Look at that jammed in there. Pinky's the most damaged part of my body. Dude, that sucks. Right, so fingers, hands, wrists, arms. Oh, I've got no feeling. There are the nerves all in here, like right there at the point of my elbow. They're completely dead. I can't feel that at all, apart from in these fingers. That's a crushing injury. I was face down in the wrestling ring with my arms ahead of me. And a guy decided he was going to do a leg drop across the back of my head. That's great. No issues. Leg drops, as long as they're delivered correctly, they don't hurt because you don't get touched. This guy jumped off the second rope and landed ass first on my arm right at the elbow here. Dusty Telephone, thank you for the follow, and just crushed my... yeah. I've had no feeling there ever since. I've had my nose broken more than 30 times. I know that because it was broken the very first match of my professional career by a guy that decided he was going to teach me that wrestling was for tough guys. And wasn't expecting the mother of all receipts that I gave him for it. I missed your message. Oh shit, dude, sorry. Oh, I dislocated my knee from falling halfway down a rock face. As a kid, I was rock climbing with cubs, and I started absoluting the carry came out. Oh, dislocated knee, man. That's a rough one. Sorry to hear that, bro. Finger got stuck in the hinge of a door, and it crushed the top of my pinky off. Oh, years later, it got crushed in another door. This time, as part of the bone shot out of the finger. Yoy. Oh man, that's rough. That's so rough. Whew. Oh god damn, that's giving me the shivers. Don't like that. Yeah, nose got broken. Basically, the guy picked up a scoop slam, body slam. He slammed me, he put his knee on my face, and just drove it in. So I hit the ground, and you hit, and obviously with the impact, you sort of bounce just a little bit. Not that the ring isn't bouncy. The wrestling ring that I was wrestling in was a converted boxing ring, which, unlike the rings you'd get if you were wrestling in one of the bigger promotions like the WWF or whatever, you could sleep in that ring. Like, legitimately, that's soft as fuck. Whereas what we were wrestling on was basically a steel frame with some sheets of like 7-ply and then some cardboard over the top, and the cardboard would go on over the gaps in the boards. It wasn't like big gaps, but where the two boards would meet, just so that a board couldn't jump up onto another board. Because if that happened, you got slammed there. Oh man, that was gonna do some significant injury. And then with a piece of canvas matting that would go on, like tied down tight to try and keep everything as stable as possible. So you're literally just being slammed on hardwood. That's it. It's ever so slightly sprung because it's only supported. Like each board had support across the middle of it and the end of it. And the boards at the very edges and in the middle, so that the two bits of boards that would touch in out of each quarter, they didn't have support, but everything else did. So it was ever so slightly sprung. There was a little bit of give, but it was still, may as well have just been slammed on a wooden floor. So there's not a lot of bounce, but whenever you hit, you obviously bounce because you're pushing into the mat with the force of your body hitting it, and it comes back up. So he hit the mat, came back a little bit, and his knee was obviously here, driving down. It snapped my nose. If anyone's particularly squeamish, I'd definitely advise you look away from the stream now, and I'll show you my party trick. It's grim. But this bit of cartilage, the bit at the front of my nose, isn't attached to anything anymore. And this is why I have occasional troubles breathing and stuff. Like, only one of my nostrils really works. Because that's not on my face at all. So yeah. So yeah, fun things that you can do. Right, I think we're finished with our transparent purple. Let's look at doing some highlights on this now. I'm going to try and keep everything in the right boxes because it took me 20 minutes yesterday to put all the paints away that we got out the other day. So we're going to need some turquoise. We've got that here. We're going to need to make that ever so slightly lighter as well. So normally here I'd use some kind of bright bone color. And I'm looking at the expansion set to see if there's anything we can use out of there, and it isn't. So what we use instead is the bright ivory from the first set. Here we go. So we've got these two. We're going to mix turquoise and bright ivory. Do something similar with your left pointer finger. Nice. Nice. My great uncle, Ivor, his name was. That's right, I had Uncle Ivor. He had his eyeball knocked out playing rugby. Apparently it was a line throw. He wasn't playing rugby, he was the umpire. And on the line in, a couple of people fumbled the ball and the ball ended up spiraling away and the point came in just here. And it just... and he was blind in that eye ever since. But it was still attached. It was just non-functional. So, was your uncle boneless? No? Trying to work out the joke. There's got to be a pun in there somewhere and I can't get it. No, I can't work it out. Ivor the boneless. Oh, right. I see. Okay. Get it. I had the top of my femur removed at the hip so I can put my leg behind my head or rotate it 180 degrees. Dude. Here we have Datsun Dare's top mod and master of yoga position number 37. Oh. But yeah, his eyeball still attached to the optic nerve. The optic nerve's a little bit stretched, which is why he's blind, I guess. And his party trick was he put one hand in front of his head like this and just bumped the back of it hard. And his eye would fall out. And I remember being super traumatized by this as a child. We were at a family thing and he was like, hey kids, watch this. All I heard immediately afterwards, my mum going, no, and running across the garden and just watching this guy's eye fall out of his head. Wait. That was gross. Right, let's see what this highlight's like. We need to go to our brightest area all the way back here and just start working this in. See what we got. Oh, that's a bit too bright. Now we know the ProAcryl paints go on one color and sort of dry another. So we'll grab the hairdryer now and just see what that line is like once it's dry. That's one of your greatest fears. Losing an eyeball. There's a clip that Jaeger might be able to link that will... That's fine now. That's no, still maybe a little bit too bright. Let's just try just turquoise on its own for a sec. Rich the Merciless, how are you doing, bro? Get this Prime sub on. 5 months, bud. Good to catch you live for once. Been a while. It has been a while, dude. It has. We do weekend streams every Saturday now from 11 AM, usually till about 2:30 or so. So a little bit of a longer stream than usual as well. We need to finish at 2:30 today as well. I've got things I need to get done this afternoon. So we'll go into the whip about 2 and maybe just cut the stream short when we finish the whip. yeah, just the turquoise isn't quite enough. Okay, so we just need a little of the ivory then. So not a lot, just a touch, just to help that get a little bit more pop to it. The Johnsonator! Hey man, no problem. Like I said, your time and my time, they're worth two different things. Also, bear in mind, things you need to factor in are the cost of materials for your bases, all that sort of stuff. And it's always difficult when somebody says, oh, what would you charge for this? Because I can tell you what I would charge. Actually, that bit isn't difficult. The difficult part is, what should I charge for this? Because I can't tell you that. Ryboog, take care, bro. Everyone, if you're not already following this guy, give him a follow. He's a cracking streamer. Really decent guy as well. So send him some love. Yeah, that's a fine highlight color. A little tricky to see. That's a bit better. I want to keep these relatively slim because the last thing you want to do is end up with some really wavy lines all over the place. And this is especially important whenever you've done anything that has a transition in, because my transition is super smooth, right? There's no visible steps. If you were to put this on Photoshop or something and start doing a color picker thing across it, you wouldn't have a massive gap from one to another. Sure, from this end to this end you would, but from here to here to here to here to here to here, blah blah blah, you'd see a relatively decent progression, right? And that's what we want. And the same goes for our highlights. And so we might not be able to use the turquoise highlight past this line, because if I was to highlight this down here, how fucking weird would that look? That would not look right at all. So that's why we've done the purple wash first, and we started at this end with our turquoise highlights, so that we can just add some purple wash into it, that purple transparent paint. I feel like transparent is definitely the wrong word for those paints. I feel that's a little misleading, and so we need to stop thinking about them as transparent paint and just start thinking of them as a ink. I think that's probably the best thing to sort of compare them to. I need to talk to Jason about them a little bit to find out what his suggested sort of use cases are for them. And we'll do that on Discord, I reckon. Blue Armigers, what's the story on these? This is the giveaway Armiger that is going to Tilts, and I asked him what colours we should use, and he chose purple and orange. And I decided it'd be very cool to go from purple up through to turquoise on the main carapaces. So you can see we've got these very cool sets of transitions, because both of these two colours contrast really well with orange, and we had to abandon our ProAcryl paints after the transparent black debacle on this guy. So we've gone for some nice metallics, and you can see that by the time we get the two of these together, we've got kind of orangey metallic, we've got this nice blue. We're going to do some freehand on these with orange, so probably something like checks would look quite good, as well as some other sort of line art. We don't know yet, still working that out. But the ProAcryl paints are really cool. They're good. Really liking them. They're vibrant, but they're still matte. They go on quite easily with one pass. They work quite well being thinned. They're pretty good for any kind of washes you want to make out of them, glazes you want to make out of them. The only issue we found so far is, I believe, my own misunderstanding of the transparent paints. Freehand my face? Hell no, bro. Kaiser Bob's discovered a problem. Excuse me. That's unfortunate. You discovered a problem. You're painting Necron, but my metallics are buried. Well, unbury them. I've discovered your solution. Also, paint your Blood Angels. We're going to be doing a Blood Angels painting guide very soon as well. Did how to paint Dark Angels one. We're going to do a how to paint Blood Angels one. Where we'll go into a bit more depth on it as well, I think, this one. So the Dark Angels one was how to paint the general Dark Angels green style armor. With this, we'll maybe push it a little bit further. We might do a freehand tutorial, how to paint Blood Angels teardrop thingamajigger. Yeah, it'll be fun. It will be fun. Totally just spooched that highlight line out. Not good. Fixed it. Right. Let's get all these rivets done. Oh my god, that was a bit thick as well. Come on, mate. What's going on? Right, so that is about as far down as we can bring this line without that interfering too much here. And the only way we really got away with it was the fact it's right on this edge. So we'll get the top one of these with that turquoise highlight. And I think we can just about get away with this one as well. And then we'll have to start darkening our highlight down for those. So that's no problem. We've got our purple ink set up ready to go for it. But who else is doing some painting? If anyone took on a New Year, New Army challenge, then let us know how that's going for you. I've decided that after the Necrons are done, so the Necronathon is going on last weekend of next month. So that's, what, 6 weeks away? I've still got a lot of stuff to assemble. And I've got to do a lot of basing for it and things like that. So there's a lot to do left on the Necronathon before we even start the stream. It's going to be fun though. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get quite a lot of shit done. And after that, I probably won't need anything else from my Necrons. I'll still have things like Cesaras to paint, because I'm not going to get him done as part of the Necronathon, I don't think. There's too much that I wanted to do that was fun stuff for that model. So I'll probably do him as a separate event. But I'm thinking, like, what can I do after that? We've got some very cool giveaways planned, especially for the stream anniversary. That's going to be a good one. So there'll be some prizes that we will create for that. Right, before we move on to the highlights further down, we need to get our turquoise highlights done on this bit as well. But I'm thinking of starting a Marine army now. Me finally painting my Grey Knights Nemesis Dread Knight. Nice, dude. Nice. Got enough box after start many new items. Brilliant. Started Orcs for the new year, just painting killer cans while waiting for paints to arrive to start the boys. Cool. Liam Ski says, making a start on my Krieg for my new 40k army. Holy shit, dude. That's a rabbit hole and a half you're going down. The Krieg look cool. They really, really do. I'm really, really hoping, and I'm so sorry to say this if you just started a Krieg army, that GW, when they redo the Guard plastic kits, doesn't do them as Krieg, but does do them as Armageddon Steel Legion. Because I think they were the best Guard metallic models that they did back in the day. The Destroyers were cool. I had a Destroyan army. But looking back, Steel Legion was the way, bro. Steel Legion was definitely the way. Comments up, Bob. There's no possible BA. No possible BA. We're going to be doing Blood Angels. We've got a commission for Wraith1 UK, who is occasionally in the chat. Might be here today. If you are, say hi, bro. He's got all the bits now that he needs me to paint. He's going to be sending those over, and we'll be working on those next month alongside 7. That's right, 7 Custodes Dreadnoughts. Ooh, Custard Dreadnoughts. That's going to be a great little commission, that. They're very, very cool minis. We've got 3 of each of the Contemptors to do and a Telemon to do. And they look so badass. They look so badass. Bring back Atalan Rough Riders. God, that was an awful kit, though. That was not a good kit. Too Spruce, hope you do manage to get that airbrush going on. Always like guys, but not a fan of Cadence or Catch going with Krieg. It's preferred them to current. Yeah. Fair enough. Steel Legion close up for Krieg. If you don't want resin, I definitely love to do that. I'll add it to the list. There you go. Add it to the list, bro. If they do make Steel Legion plastics, that's the one time I'd consider a Guard army. Again, like I said, I had my Vestroyans that were a predominantly infantry-based army. Had a couple of Lehman Russ, but that was it. But like I said, I am considering a Space Marine army. And what I want to do is create a mostly Primaris Deathwatch force with a twist. So they will not actually be Deathwatch, but we'll use a Deathwatch shoulder pad, and we'll do the steel arm of the Deathwatch on the one side. But I want to paint them a dark but still powerful blue. Oh, I just did the Boris Johnson. No, powerful. There you go. This, not this. This, a powerful blue with bone elements. So I want to do 2-tone helmets, bone shoulder pad trim. Probably do bone for the face plates. So every Marine's faceplate will be bone. And then a bone stripe up the helmet for things like sergeants in the units and stuff like that. 30k ultra blue look? No. Imagine Crimson Fists blue, but done my way. So there's a lot more pop to what's going on. That kind of thing. Cannibal John can be pinned up Gulliman today to sell him. Nice, dude. Have fun with that. Pinbot 5k just started getting to 40k. Blood Angels turns out are popular right now, so I'm having trouble finding the Blood Angels troops. Blood Angels are very popular right now because they are very good right now. So a lot of more meta players, shall we say, are getting on that bandwagon. But obviously, the idea of doing my own custom chapter is always going to be one of the things that appeals to me, because A, we can come up with all our own lore, which is fun, but not my primary worry about the hobby, as you guys know from well, just talking to me. But it means that I can play them as Deathwatch. It means that I can play them as another Marine chapter, because they will all be of one chapter with a Deathwatch arm. So they won't be Deathwatch. It also means that we've got the possibility of doing any other chapter. So if I want to play them as, let's say, Blood Angels, I've just completely fucked it on that wash there, trying to avoid that rivet, but we'll come back and fix that in a sec. Then I could buy up some Sanguinary Guard or some Death Company and then paint those in the same colour scheme with the single shoulder pad and so on. And what I'd like to do, because the only way I ever get to paint my own stuff is by doing the crazy shithead idea streams, is paint them all on stream over a series of weekends. So what I'm thinking of doing is buying like the first 500 or so points of Marines. After we've got a practice mini done and we know what we're doing and how we're going to get there, what basing we're going to do and so on. But buy up the first quarter of an army and do a weekend stream where we paint that. Now this is, unlike the Necrons, not going to be a speed paint thing. We're not going to do 2k in a weekend, because I always want to at least have a chance at a nomination, if not the win, in the best painted army at a tournament. There's got to be that. Whenever I go to a tournament, that is an advert for me. And so that needs to be the case. Now, big question, why are you painting Marines now when all the new shit is coming out that isn't Marines, and Marines are going to get left behind? Well, that's exactly the reason. I don't play the in-meta army. I'm still going to be an Imperial Knight player in 2021. And I'm still going to be taking out world champions with my Knights. Left, right and centre. No issue. Alex Harrison, third time's the charm. No. When I play you again, mate, you're going to want to make it a better 7, then it'll be a better 9, and you know. Love to give Manny another game. See if that win wasn't a fluke. I don't think it was. So we're still going to be playing Knights, but we'll play Necrons at a couple of events. And I'd like to have another, I'll say, studio army. Before anyone gets excited, the chances of me doing battle reports are so small that they're just not even worth looking into. However, the chances of me appearing on other channels' battle reports are actually decent. We've done a couple now, so stay tuned for that. That will happen again in a post-COVID world, I am sure. But it would just be nice to have another army, and I think that's the only way I'd be able to do another army, is if we did it over many weekends. So we've got, for instance, all the Indomitus stuff that we can do. So I've actually got no Assault Intercessors left, because I use those for my Patreon painting lessons, which in a couple of months I will probably be opening a few more slots for students. So if that's something you're interested in, the existing Patreons at the video viewer or higher level will get their they get first dibs, basically. So Exclamation point Patreon. Go and check that out if you're interested. But yeah, once we're finished completely with the office, I can kind of open that up a little bit more. And that is in not long. I have 3 shifts next week and 4 shifts a week after. And then literally a 2-hour work day, and I am done. That's it. Finished. Finito. No mas. It's going to be so good. But yeah, I think the Marine Army now that they're on the down slope, they're still good, but they're not. Like, I hate. There are times at events where I just despair a little bit, and it's usually those times when I get to a table and it's somebody that's got whatever net list is currently doing the rounds because it won some tournament somewhere else, and they're super proud of their net list. Sure, you'll work those 2 hours to death, mate. I'm doing fuck all. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna dial in from here to the morning meeting at 9. So at the end of the meeting, go, cool. I'm just gonna go and drop my laptop in the office now. Bye. And I can take my time getting to work and count that as part of my work day. And then I might go and have a poo in a urinal or something just to say goodbye. I don't know. Don't know. I couldn't do that though. I couldn't do that to the cleaner. The cleaners are all super nice. It's just the upper management are pricks. Right, just dropping this highlight in here to add a little bit of shape to the leg, just to help define that angle a little bit. I could have find a base surface and I just have to hope I don't mess up and have to respray the model. There you go, mate. Put the pressure on. Make yourself do it right. If Dale was watching the stream, Sky Diamonds, really? Are you fucking serious? Dipshit. I don't need a microwave. I don't have a microwave. I will never have a microwave. I owned a microwave once because I lived in a house with a kitchen that was so small that it was really the only way to be able to cook anything was by using that. I hate Chef Mike. Fucking ping ding. Absolutely not. Yeah, don't fuck over the facilities team. Exactly. The last that cleans the floor that I used to work on was fucking ace. She was this brilliant Italian lady. She was super, super cool. We'd always talk about food and you name it, and she'd always end up giving me little, like, here's a recipe my gran used to make, kind of tidbits of info. She was epic. Minor inconvenience, everyone in the office turning on his PC on its display upside down in the command computer. They disabled that. They disabled that. So I've done that to so many people that wouldn't lock their screen. In the contact center, if you get up and leave your machine, obviously you have to lock the screen. It's important. It's data protection essentially at its heart. And if anyone did that, it's Windows Shift and down, I think, was the key. I can't remember if that was right, but it just inverts the monitor. Pretty sure that's right. Either that or it was Windows Control, and I can't remember. But it turns monitors displays upside down. And once I'd done it once, I was like, how the fuck did you do that? I know the team leaders were like, I'm so going to do that to people. And they then, because bell ends, why are there always so many bell ends? They then would just go up to people that were on the phone. Windows shift down is minimized. Oh, fuck. Oh, bugger. I thought it was one of those, because Windows shift left or right moves things to the other active display. No, I've forgotten it. But yeah, they go up to people that are on the phone and take the piss by doing it while they're on the phone. And obviously it causes a lot of problems. And so, because the management of the contact center were dicks, the IT department disabled that command for everyone. Control Alt down. There we go. Well done, guys. So yeah, if anyone doesn't know that, and you're working on a computer right now, press Control Alt down. See what happens. It's a fun one. The real inconvenience would be to swap around the ordering of displays on people's systems, because most of the people I worked with had no fucking idea how to set up their monitors, and so they'd end up scrolling, like swiping left with the mouse, hitting the invisible wall, would have to swipe right to get to that screen. So that's a fun one to do to people. And the easiest way to do it is, change screen 1 and 2 to work the opposite way around. Yeah. The easiest way to do it is just to switch the HDMI cables at the back, so you don't require getting into their PC to set it up. Oh, holy shit! What is this? White faces throwing out some gift subs. Dude, thank you very much. I don't actually recognize your username, so are you here a lot? Thank you very much, bro. So we got subs going out to Feedpunk, Grimgar, Jabolion, Unhappy Dan. Well, Dan, you've got to be happy now. You've just been given a sub. Cheer up. And Deadeye, all of you guys being given a sub now by White Faces. What a legend. Let's get some hype in the stream for that absolute boss while I save this list of people in a long list of gift subs I've got to put out some meeps for. There you go. Morning, longish time watcher and first time chatter here. Been enjoying your stream before while enjoying your stream being on while painting for quite a while now. This is thanks for that. I've learned so much from your chat. Keep it up. Oh mate, you absolute superstar. Thank you very much, bro. Got a sub and already noticed I've been gifted once I had to. Well, there you go. I think that's how most people get their subs now, because the community is very, very generous when it comes to that kind of thing. So all 5 of you guys just been gifted a sub. If you happen to be here, exclamation point mystery and exclamation point win. You will be giving your meeps for that by the end of the month. Don't you worry, you'll get to use them on that end of the month stream. And you're now eligible to enter into the mystery giveaway that we do that is sub only. Where this month you could win. Actually, this is important. I haven't shown this off yet today. So far in the pool of prizes is this guy. This is the first time we'll be painting 2 miniatures to give away to one person as part of the giveaway stream. Gorzag, Gitstomper, and Nickit. He is definitely the best grub. Makari's a scrub. This guy's the best. Definitely him. Even better, put 1 and 2 monitors, one on top of the other instead. Oh god. Yeah. But all of that sort of thing requires you to actually be logged in as them. So. Oh, the good old Shrek background drop. Yeah. Nickit is Meep's favoured grot. I don't think she has a favoured grot, you know. I think she gives literally zero fucks to the hobby of miniature painting. She probably hates it. It's like, well, Jay is over there painting and I'm not getting any fusses, so fuck Warhams. I think that's more Meep's attitude, you know. Just need to thin that a little more. Getting that nice smooth flow off the brush we're after. Meeps would knock every grot onto the floor if left on the table, regardless of name or rank. Actually, she's really good at not doing shit like that. So, regardless of what people actually think, it's not impossible to train cats. She doesn't jump up on the sides, and she doesn't knock shit off tables. Easy to train cats. A non-asshole cat. Yep. But it's more that, like every cat, she's a bit of an asshole. That won't change. It's just that her master is the bigger asshole. So, Meep or her sister Kira, when we still had her, they literally both bit me exactly one time. That's it. Never bit me again. Because as soon as they bit me, I bit them back. And I feel that to try and teach an animal in English by saying words like no, like, how the fuck is a cat, a dog, a mouse, a shrimp, I don't fucking know. How is that going to understand the word no? It doesn't, right? But animals understand animal language, which is usually a bit more physical. And so my cat bit me once, and I bit the cat back. Because then it learned, like, oh shit, I shouldn't do that. But there's no need for, like, violence. There's no need for beating your fucking animal. That's a problem with you, not a problem with the animal. But that's how you teach something to something else. You have to work on its level of language. I thought I was mad for biting my dog. Nope. No. And I have a pet shrimp. Dude, I know loads of people with pet shrimp. Admittedly, they're like cleaner shrimp in a tropical tank or something like that, you know. But shrimp are cool. They make cool pets. Just chilling about. Right, nearly finished with this step. Then we're going to work on the rest of the highlights for this main carapace. The rest of what we've got here still needs a little bit of a highlight, but nothing like that does. That needs a lot more highlights on. And for that, we're going to take some of our transparent purple, or, I mean, really, it's still very opaque. So we'll avoid the use of the word transparent where I can and just say purple ink, as I feel that's a little bit more appropriate to how these things work so far. That's the only thing I found so far that's been not the description. Sorry, the paint itself has not followed the description on the bottle. So the turquoise paint is just called turquoise, which makes total sense. It's not called, I don't know, blistering blue Sparkle Sunlight or whatever other bullshit name a miniature painting company would give their turquoise. It's just called turquoise. Blue is just called blue. Green is just called green, except their green is a little bit blue. So really that's kind of a slightly bluey green. They'd probably call it a warm blue-green. Rather than a verdant green. Or that would be like bold verdant green, I guess. I don't know. They've got a really good naming convention that just actually describes the paint. Bright warm grey, bright neutral grey. You know, neutral grey is literally just a mixture of black and white. Warm grey would be black and bone. So I really like their convention for naming at the ProAcryl studio, paint shop, whatever. Yeah, big fan of that. But the transparent line is totally not. How do you match our Patreon name up with our Twitch tag? I don't. Oh, do you mean for the other giveaway? So when we do the mystery giveaway, and then one of the other prizes goes to a Patreon member, that's nothing to do with Twitch at all. That's literally a case of me going to Patreon, sorting by role. So we have the masters, the students, and the video viewers all sort of taken into an account. And then we do a random number from 1 to whatever it might be. And then I pick that person. That's the person that wins. So the two systems are completely different. For instance, if somebody now subscribed on Patreon, we'd get an alert that would pop up here that would be of the Mohawk Miniatures night drawing that Scrivo did. We'd have a little bit of music play, and it would say so-and-so subscribed on Patreon. But it would give whatever name you have put down as your Patreon name. So I know a lot of people have used their Twitch name, because their Twitch name is like their online identity, for want of a better phrase, I guess. But that's the only time that ever matches up. Right, now we're mixing in a little of that turquoise to our purple transparent paint, ink, and just getting a brighter bit of purple out of that. Now the reason we're using the turquoise, obviously, is that we're getting that sort of marriage across. It's going to come up a nice light purple, which is exactly what we want. But there'll be that little tiny suggestion of turquoise in there, and that's going to just help give us those correct highlights. The colour is a colour, not some random character's left-handed weapon. There you go, use your real name. Cool, man. I don't know which one of my Patreons you are. What's your opinion on PA transparent? You stop mid-sentence. Oh, sorry. They're not fucking transparent. So, transparent means see-through. Yeah? My glass of water is transparent. Mostly. Oh, and in great need of probably more of that. But that's transparent. Cool, now I know who you are. Cheers, bro. Whereas all of these, and that purple, I have thinned the fuck at it. And it's definitely still opaque. I mean, these lines here are definitely purple lines. This one was done with it raw, and you can say that's a little darker than the ones we've got here and here. Not by a lot, just a little. But even these, which was mostly water with a bit of purple in, that's still really strong. Really strong. So it's a tough one. Mr. Enigma, no. In fact, I've had 2 orders. The last 2 orders that I have made from them have dispatched the same day I made the order and arrived the following day. I can't fault Element for their shipping times. If there's a stock issue, it's... Well, you can't ever say stock is or isn't their fault, because it might be that they've taken too long to get the stock out and unpacked and so on, so there's a potential that it's their fault. But having stock not in stock, you can't really blame on a company right now. That's definitely mostly to do with their distributors, suppliers, and so on. In fact, we were talking about this the other day. I am not a VIP. I'm barely a person, let alone a very important one. Shark in a Box, what up, dude? How's it going? We were talking about where the Privateer Press paints are made. And I said they're made in England. And I had somebody say, well, actually, I think you'll find they're based in Pennsylvania or something. The company that makes the paint, I had to look it up because I couldn't remember the name of it, is HWG Paints or HMG. Shit. It's one of the two. I think it's HWG Paints. And they are based in England. But yeah, they are having issues getting their paint out. The manufacturing of the paint is the issue there, rather than anything else, really. So, yeah. Made 2 orders over Christmas, New Year, and not heard anything. Just wondering if a common thing at the moment, contact them. Always contact them. Use their web chat. You'll normally get hold of someone relatively quickly. The last couple of people I've spoken to, Nige and Harry, both absolute fucking bad lads. Their customer service is spot on, mate. When it comes to all that sort of thing, it's exactly what you want. You know, common sense answers to questions with the intent on putting the customer first and making sure you're happy. So definitely hit them up. Tell them that Jay at Mohawk Miniatures sent you, and it will mean absolutely nothing to them. But if enough people say it, you know, get me on that affiliate spotlight email that goes out every couple of weeks or so. That would be dope. Alright, there we go. We've got some purple highlights in there. And then we'll work a mid-tone in to get all of that area. Which this is very purple, so we'll take a little bit of purple and mix it into our turquoise for some of those, rather than mixing more turquoise. Yeah, trouble with post this week. We had parcels but no letters. Oh, shit. Looking into the store and just standing like a kid in a sweet shop, mate. I'd love to go there. Wafflecraft, what up? Can't be long now till you can hit partner, surely. Oh, we need... No. By the end of the year, maybe we hit partner. So this time last year, I was averaging 30 to 40 viewers a stream. And you guys know I'm very transparent about this sort of thing. Like, the business is the business, but I'll always be honest with you folk. You're the ones that are helping to make it a business, so I can't not be. This time last year, like I said, 30 to 40 viewers. This time this year, my average evening stream hits 60. A quiet night could be high 50s. A good night could be low 70s. That's kind of where we sit at the moment. And my monthly averages need to be consistently above 70. Now, bear in mind, and I will never, ever say this and I won't condone it being said in the stream either. Cannibal John, thank you for the follow. There are a lot of streamers that when they make their push for partner, because you apply, right? It's like a job application. The first time you're eligible for it and you hit that path to partner achievement on Twitch, an application's made for you automatically, and obviously Twitch turned me down. I didn't even get a thing back saying like, no, bro. But I didn't expect to be made partner then either. That was an anomaly. Mr. Enigma, that's great. That's a good evening's worth of finding shit. But anyway, that first time we didn't get it. A lot of streamers, when they go through their path to partner, which is what I was saying, will ask people that are brought in via a raid to remove the raid part of the URL and refresh the page. And that's not the way to do it. I think that's shit. I think that's such a shit thing to do. Because when it happens, when I make partner on Twitch, and I have no doubt it will happen, I don't know how long it will take, but I have seen my audience grow over the last couple of years that we've been streaming, and grow at a steady but consistent pace, which is the main thing, keeping it consistent. And so when it happens, it'll happen. I am super not interested, and frankly, I'd like to think I've got enough fucking integrity. I don't want to take some crappy shortcut. I don't want to think, well, I got partner, but, I had a lot of help from people with raids, and then I told them to take the URL out, and that's how I make partner. No, when I make partner, it'll be legit. So, it'll happen. I'd like it to happen this year, as in between now and next January. Because this is now what I do for a living. Ventress! Got quarter paint iron words, mate. You are absolutely forgiven. Hazard stripes for life. I do expect to see him in the whip later on, though, Dan. Like, don't let me down, bro. Don't come in late and then let me down. Mies Brees, thank you very much for that follow. And also, Breathe Hole 1! Get his sub on 5 months in. Absolute superstar. Thank you very much, bro. Keeping the lights on here at the studio. Really appreciate it. But yeah, it'll happen. Like I said, this year, hopefully. To give you guys the lowdown on why it matters. A Bindern as well. Thank you for the follow. Cheers for coming over to the stream, bro. Yeah, to give you an idea of why it matters. So what's the big deal about being partner? It changes the way that Twitch applies its fees to your account. Twitch exists to make Twitch money. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. It's a business. That's what it's there for, is to create money inflow. And they do a good enough job of it, clearly. End of the day, all of their servers need maintenance and upgrades and things like that to help keep everything online and so on, and to hold the VODs, and all of these things. Running a streaming business must be fucking catastrophically expensive, and so they need to fund that. And so if you are an affiliate, which is anyone that has 50 or more followers, can join the affiliate scheme. People can subscribe to your channel, and they can then start earning money off of subscriptions and donations and bits and cheering and all these other things, right? All the other ways that Twitch allows you to interact with your streamer. And then the point behind that is that individual, that streamer, then starts to try and encourage their audience to do so through whatever means to make them money, which then makes Twitch money. Breathhold, thank you for that host. Now that, hosts are really important to streamers. The more you have your stream hosted by people, the more likelihood you have of it reaching the front page of Twitch. And if you're on the front page of Twitch, you are going to get views. Most people go to Twitch and then go to one of their followers, one of the people they follow, to watch a show. And so being on that front page means that you're going to get visibility. That's fucking huge. I'm almost certainly never going to hit the front page of Twitch because I'm a niche hobbyist in a niche hobby, and so it's not like I'm playing League of Legends or Cyberpunk or doing fucking body paint or some large-breasted lass wearing a low-cut top sat in just chatting, like whatever. So hosts are really, really useful, and it's one of those things that helps out streamers more than you know. But again, give you the lowdown on why partner is important and so on. If you're an affiliate with Twitch, for every subscription that you have, which costs the user $5, and that's most of the chat, mate, I've got big enough breasts. I haven't. We've lost enough weight that they're maybe a B cup at best. You know. Yeah, you get that's because you are a boss. Thank you very much. Yeah, for every $5 of a subscription that you guys either get or gift or whatever, an affiliate streamer receives $2. Twitch receives the rest. That's still good. You know, I'm still okay with that. Last thing you mentioned will draw in a lot of people if you do it. I am absolutely sure, mate. It's never happening. I could wear pasties and then be a little bit messy with the airbrush and call it body painting, but I'd throw up in my own mouth, let alone anybody else. But if you're a partner, then Twitch works with you a bit more on the fees. And so instead of it being $2 per subscription, it's about $3-ish. 50% of tier 1, tier 2 6%, tier 3 70% where parts get a better cut. There you go. You say affiliates get 50% of all tiers, but that's not what I've noticed when I've done the maths. Not sure if my maths are wrong. So Prime subs still the same value. Prime subs actually, bizarrely, feel like they're worth ever so slightly more, which is weird. Because that one I'm not sure on. VAT. No, that's something that we have to do our end. Oh, okay. There you go then. There you go. Don't do pasties. I saw some other mini paint do a thing with body paint and googly eyes. Yes, yeah, that was. Oh shit. Brush for hire. Yeah. What's better value to you then, sub, gift, otherwise? So. I was hoping this question wouldn't come up, if I'm honest, because the answer is unfortunately donations, and I'm never going to be the guy that asks for donations. I can't do that. Just no. That's why the fucking donation button is hidden at the bottom of all of the panels. and it says, if you would like to donate, then go and buy some toys instead, and then paint them and donate me a picture in the whip gallery. You know, that's what I'd rather people did. Right, I'm just gonna mix up that mid-tone purpley blue, super lilac color. One sec, we try and balance that out. Because I'd much rather that. But that's the best thing, like the tip and the cheers. Finance-wise, for a streamer, those are the best things to get. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Twitch obviously want to prioritize a certain other way of people giving money to streamers. Because it helps them out, and that's totally fine. They're a business. Remember, we started off a conversation by saying that Twitch is a business, and therefore they need to make money. And if Twitch didn't exist, then I couldn't do what I do. So, Wafflecraft, this is the armor panels for a Knight Armiger. So these are going to sit like this is the carapace that goes across the top of this guy. Got the shoulder pads and bits. This is taking a little longer than I was expecting it to, but we're kind of playing around with a series of different purples and teals to start melding these colors together a little bit and just create a bit more of a smoother flow from one to the other. It's working. It's doing okay. I missed the Jay tried body painting, but yeah, his jeans and t-shirt at the time, it didn't end well. Actually, that white ink has now come out of my jeans. It took 3 goes through the washing machine, but that's come out. So, yay. Thank you, Bold All-in-What. It's a parrot. It could be a parrot, mechanical parrot. Does Hawk painting for the right price? Yes. Yes, and you do need to get an airbrush. Everyone should buy an airbrush. This will sound like heresy of the highest order for a minute, but bear with. If you have space, because they take up room, you have to have either something to spray into or onto. And ideally in a ventilated area so that you're not breathing in constant airbrush fumes. But if you have space, you should buy an airbrush. And if that means you stop buying minis, thereby allowing the pile of shame to stop growing for maybe just a month or two. A lot of us spend way more money on minis than we would like to admit. And so for some people, it's literally just a month of not buying toy soldiers, and instead you buy an airbrush. You will clear your backlog way faster than if you didn't have an airbrush. Airbrushes make all of the things that I do easier to do and quicker to do. Like, I can create this blend using brushes. It will take me about an hour and a half on a good day. Maybe slightly more. Through a combination of wet blending and glazed layering. Is it fun? Is it fuck? No! God, no! Just no. It's not fun. Trying to keep it smooth is super stressful. Whereas with an airbrush, we did all of these armor panels and painted this twice on stream, which means that you can basically divide the time taken by 2, and that's the real world time. Because stream time and real world time are 2 different things, as any streamer will be able to tell you. But I did all of that in what amounted to about an hour and 40 minutes of actual time. Because airbrush, basically. So, get an airbrush. Have fun with it. play around with it. Don't be afraid of it. I know somebody that they told me they bought an airbrush and they haven't used it yet because they're afraid to fuck up their models. Doesn't matter. Airbrush paint goes on so thin that you can paint over it with no loss of detail. Because this has been fully painted twice. And you can't tell. Yeah, at all. Any suggestions for a beginner's airbrush? So, your best bet is to go on to your version of Amazon, like whatever country you're in. Just do a search for airbrush with compressor. And you'll get loads of options come up. They'll all look mostly the same. And it's basically this one Chinese factory that pumps out compressors and airbrushes super cheap. The other people come along and slap a logo on, and there you are, it's their airbrush. And they're perfectly fine to use. I painted 3 entire armies with that airbrush setup. One of which qualified for No Retreat, which is a very difficult tournament to qualify for. It's basically a tournament you have to send in photos of your army to make sure that your army is good enough in terms of its looks to get to go to the event. And we painted an army that qualified for that using that shitty airbrush setup. It's not the same airbrush setup I use now because we upgraded to something that's a little bit more responsive, that is a little bit more easy to clean, is a little bit more precise, and that makes a big difference. But you don't need to start with that. Mosquito Boy, cheers for the follow, welcome. Totally didn't just knock over the Armiga twice. Definitely not into this fortunately dry bit of transparent purple paint. I was lucky. Arthur said, just sit and at least build all the palette shading first. Being able to just pick up a mini and start paint is a godsend over a palette box in the corner. Yes, that's a good one. I think space is the biggest problem for me. Yeah. And it makes a lot of mess. Airbrushes are not clean tools at all. So I airbrush onto this, which is actually just one of those cheapo plastic chopping boards. Which means the rest of my desk gets absolutely turned into the splash zone and therefore picks up loads of airbrush residue. So I deep clean my desk every Monday, along with things like cleaning, painting, paintbrush water, pots out, cleaning out the airbrush cup, and all of the other cleaning equipment and stuff that I use. I do that every single Monday, going out into a habit now. But the desk gets a proper deep clean, scrubbed with hot soapy water and so on, to ensure that we remove all that residue. But it does mean you can't just airbrush on, say, your dining room table. You have to have a relatively dedicated space for it. And not everyone's got that. If you buy a portable spray booth, that might help you out. Might help you out a lot, actually. But again, that then adds to the cost, and it becomes more of a barrier of entry than not. So you've got all these things to take into account. But it's a very rewarding part of the hobby for me. Airbrush work gives me the sense of instant self-gratification because you just blast paint down and instantly you've got this great effect, which is what you're after. Can you keep it in your garage? Yeah, absolutely, bro. Just make sure your garage is somewhere that's comfortable to work, because the last thing you want to do is be like, oh, well, you know, I want to paint these, but I've got to go in the garage and it's cold today and I don't want to, and you want to try and remove those barriers if you can. So as long as that's a comfortable spot, do it. Nothing wrong with that. Right, so we are done with our highlight work. I don't think there's anything left to hit. Maybe just a little dot in these corners. On all of the armor panels, what we're going to do next then is start working on all of the armor trim, and that is going to be black, and that's why we've gone super bright and super pastel and kind of synthy with all of this stuff. So when we put a black around the outside, it will really really pop out. Just add paper to make it kind of booth for the airbrush when it's nice and saturated paint, sell them, instant profit. I peel the paint off of this every year, and this year it came off as a matte, and in this bottom corner, which is where I do the test sprays for my airbrush, that was about 2 mil thick. Can you recommend a good respirator for airbrushing? Yeah, I use this. I don't use it on stream, but it's a 3M respirator. There's the product code. It's rated for aerosols 1, particulates 2. So it's perfect for airbrushing. And even with the beard, obviously this gets in the way of most respirators. This sits just here across my chin. So there's a little bit of hair, like just that bit, that gets in the way of the seal. It performs a really good seal to my face. It's not uncomfortable to wear. It's quite form-fitting. Works really well. I believe the filters are replaceable. But this is an all-in-one mask, so I think I might have to just buy a new mask when that happens. But I envisage getting about a year's worth of life out of that for 30 quid, which isn't bad at all. I was previously using, I might have thrown them all away. Yeah, I think I have. Those like paper dust masks, and they're shit. Once I'm set in this new house and I have a space I can paint using airbrush, I'm going to have to get a paint lesson with you. I really want to paint my Death Guard in this colour scheme now. Don't want to tie the drab green on the tabletop. My house makes Death Guard about the same colour as the Blackstone on Silent King. How do you paint yourself on stream while airbrushing? I don't, is the answer to that. If we're doing a long session on stream of airbrushing and we're really, really going for it for a long period of time, then I will wear a respirator. So in our long like marathon streams, where we're airbrushing for sort of 16 hours, then we'll grab a mask and we'll put it on. I'm not sure I'll be able to with this one because the communication might not be there. We'll have to kind of suck it and see on that and just test it really. But I don't like to filter myself on stream. And for the usual amount of time we're airbrushing, which is only maybe a couple of hours, I feel that's a fairly negligible impact on my health. And that might be completely wrong. But I've chosen to accept that and just sort of take that that risk. But whenever we're not on stream and the airbrush comes out, that goes on. There's no two ways about it. Like I said, I used to use those paper ones when this became my full-time job and I realised I'd be doing a lot more work with the airbrush. I invested in that respirator. Also, if the apocalypse gets really bad, then, you know, that will protect me. So we can put that on while we're fighting zombies. It's also quite breathable. Yeah, Timmy Spruce, that's super harsh. No one cared who I was until I put on the mask. I was born wielding an airbrush. You merely adopted it. So, paint and trim, everyone's literal least favourite thing. But it's got to be done. It's a solid outline to your mini. We're using the coal black from ProAcryl for this, which has become my go-to black. It's very, very rare that I replace a P3 paint from my sort of usual lineup of paints. And coal black, I think, just edges out Thramar black because it's super matte. And because I like to paint in a very matte style, where my highlights go on where I want them to go on and not where the atmosphere the mini's in wants them to go on, this is pretty perfect for me. And unlike Scales paints, it's not super thick and claggy and a bitch to use. I'm putting this on with literally just the tiniest amount of water on my brush to aid in flow. It's really good. It's really, really good. I want to chat and actually put your PPE on. Yeah, man. All of the chat, like gloves. Oh yeah. That was that about 2 a.m. or 10? I think it was about 10 at night. Maybe we started doing that. I know the basing took quite a long time on that Nurgle Demon project we did. For anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about there, I painted 90 Nurgle Demons. I think it was 15 or 18 bases of Nurglings. Hang on, let me count. So all of this entire shelf is literally plague bearers all over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 15 basic Nurglings. 4 Poxbringers, 6 Plague Toads. So hang on, so that's 90. So that's 105, 111, 115. Yeah, 115 minis. Yeah, well done, Jaeger. The Krons was 110. And all those Plague Bearers were painted. Oh shit, no, and 3 Beasts of Nurgle as well, 118. Yeah, I think that was actually it. So 118 minis were done in the space of 48 hours. And it was a lot on stream. I can't remember how long it actually took, but I know we did probably a 14-hour stream day 1. And then day 2, we streamed from 10 a.m. on the Sunday morning until 5 a.m. on the Monday morning. So, what's that? 19 hours? So that was a 14-hour stream and a 19-hour stream. So 33 hours to paint 118 Nurgle Demons, including basing them. And the base was a Garden of Nurgle theme, which I'm still super, super proud of. So we did loads of pouring UV drying resin. And then we set some rival crafts, exclamation point Tufts or exclamation point Rival, to go and check out their stuff. We set some rival crafts preserved foliage. In fact, I've got some on my desk now. Here is one of the giveaway models we've done recently. I still haven't sent out. This stuff here on the base, these are actual ferns, like real plants. And as part of their process, they've been grown, and then they've been put into glycerin. Their root clusters have been put into glycerin, I should say, rather. And then they've soaked up the glycerin. And what that's done is that's then surrounded all of the chlorophyll in the leaves. So all the bits that make the plant go green. And that has basically preserved it. It's set it in place. And that means they are going to look like that forever. Well, I mean, they might eventually go brown, but it's going to take a very long time for that to happen. And so we did all of our yellow Nurgle Demons with Garden of Nurgle bases. The frogs were all in their own little ponds. Each one had like a little splashed water crater that he was in. They're my favourite part of the army, but unfortunately the Frog Riders no longer exist. They're not in the Codex at all. So I have 2 options with them. I can either use them as Beasts of Nurgle, because they're about the same height as the new one, and they're on the same base size, which is 60 mil. Or I can use them as Plague Drone Riders. Are they just called Plague Drones? I can't remember. But yeah, I can't use them as hoppity hops. No more hoppity hops! This is bullshit. The one nerf that demons didn't need was taking away my favourite thing about them. Scumbags. I heard rage horror stories of plague toads being beating a manta to death. Fair. I don't really care. Like, I think that's hilarious. A manta got beaten to death by plague toads. That's fantastic. I can imagine them crawling all over it, gumming up all of the little hover jets and stuff that keep it afloat, causing it to have issues. But Death Guard Army is Chaos Spawn. To be honest, that works, but I think they're on the wrong size base for that. They're on 60 mil, and I think Spawn are on 40s. I think Spawn are on 40s. So they're the wrong base size for that. Because they're set in that UV resin, there's no coming back from that. They're on those bases. That's a 60 mil base for revs. So certainly from a competitive standpoint, that's a no-no. Especially if there's a new rule where you can turn one of your Marines into Spawn from something that's in a Warhammer community. I can imagine the Plague Marine turning into Toad. That would be cool. I haven't seen that in the bits of the book that I may or may not have read. That might not be a thing. That might be a thing. That might be a crusade thing rather than a normal thing. There are some very, very cool... We haven't really talked about Death Guard. There are some very, very cool new Death Guard things. There is a strat for Hellbrutes to get +1 to hit and +1 to wound. Ouch. That's a good one. I want to say it's called something like... It's not Fire Frenzy, but it's something that's similar. So yeah, I like that a lot. I ordered things this morning because, you know, got to get them all, mate. Got to catch them all. I know my housemate will have been ordering the Death Guard stuff, so I need to sit down properly with the codex with him. Still waiting on the new NID codex. Maybe it drops next year, mate. As far as I'm concerned, all the cool armies that I like, they can leave the codex for as long as they want, because the longer it's left, the more powerful it'll be. That's just codex creep. That's fine. I'm totally on board with codex creep. I'd like the game to be fairly balanced, but I don't ever want the game to be fully balanced, because then it gets somewhat stale. And let's be fair, all of us Warhammer players, especially the competitively minded ones among us, love to have a whinge about something. Like, love to have a whinge. Like, oh, you play fucking tag. You know, that was the old whinge. Now it's, oh, God, another Space Marine player. This is my 4th one in a row at this tournament. Yeah. Like, we'd all like to have a bit of a whinge about stuff like that. Weird, isn't it, though, how everyone hates Space Marines, but as soon as someone says, oh, I play tag, you're like, scumbag. I guess Ty really touched people in an uncomfortable place at some point. I'm fine with Ty. Anti-players. Anyone that said, oh yeah, I used to play Tau and Eldar allies in 6th edition, I hope you get cancer of, like, the thumbnails. Just the thumbs. Just the thumbnails. Like something that is extremely annoying but not life-threatening. Yeah, so squishy, they should be terrifying on a tabletop, but they're not. Are we talking about NIDs with that? They're actually played, just painted. Cool. I know a lot of people that are just in it because they like the lore and the toys. They don't play. And the first time I met someone like that, it was very strange. So I couldn't imagine not playing the game. But I've met enough people about it. I just think it's cool that the game has a story and a set of toys that are so good that it brings in people that just want to sit and do the hobby. I think that's absolutely fantastic now. So you keep on being you, brother. Alright, there we go. Now we've got that black in there. Look at how nicely that frames everything we've got. Fantastic. Tawanada. Look, Invisible Wraith Knights. Oh, sorry, I think it was 7th. Yeah, it was 7th Ed. Taudar. So the Invisible Wraith Knight was annoying. But Taudar took that one step further because it was 2 Riptide wings, so 6 Riptides, and an Invisible Wraith Knight. What the fuck? Cool. That might very well be Crusade still. And it might be... they used to have the boon. I can't remember if it was a power or a strat. Where you could get a buff if you did something. There you go. That is Crusade. Because it's order of battle and there you go, experience points. Yeah. So, not a surprise. Very fluffy Crusade rule. So, who here is a Death Guard player from today? Anyone? I mean, just obviously don't raise your hand because I can't see you, but let us know if you've just become a Death Guard player. I know a couple of competitive players that became Death Guard players when the Death Guard Psychic Awakening book dropped, because Ironclot Furnace, basically. And the Ironclot Furnace has been changed and is the same as a lot of the kind of chapter mastery style buffs. Instead of providing an aura now, you pick one unit within, I want to say 6 inches. And that unit gets a 4-up invulnerable save rather than being an aura of all demon engines getting a 4-up invulnerable save. And the rest of the Ironclot stuff, which is the Poxmongers, isn't great. So you're probably not gonna be playing that anymore. Cannibal John got my housemate to 40k in 2020. He plays Death Guard. Nice. Well, he's going to be loving the new rules because the new rules are sick. Currently, there's no Hateful Assault, and there is no Death to the False Emperor. But I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. Does anyone know how many attacks a basic tactical marine gets? Because I think it's still 1, despite having 2 wounds. I think it's still 1 attack, but can someone confirm that for me? It is 1, that's what I thought. So here's why I don't care that they don't have Hateful Assault and they don't have Death of the False Emperor. Your basic infantryman essentially gets +1 attack at all times. That is definitely better than +1 attack on a turn that you were charged, or heroic intervened. Because you're getting that as a constant buff rather than a buff that occurs under 1 situation out of the 3. So that's already better than Hateful Assault, as far as I'm concerned. So that's a fucking win. Death to the False Emperor being lost. I hate all of those kind of rules. Not because you forget them, like that's not why, but I hate all the rules that are against codexes X, Y, and Z, here's a buff. And I hope that all of that kind of shit goes. I know that because they've changed the way you choose relics and warlord traits to be pre-game or pre-tournament, it's less of an issue, and you're not going to get that guard pet. It goes, oh, lol, Relic of Loscadia. I win, but I hate all of those things because that makes the game super hard to balance. Because you do a few things to the guard codex, and the guard codex becomes powerful, but it's balanced. Unless you play Chaos, in which case you stuff them in so hard. So I'd rather they removed every single one of those rules, all the little interactions between like Eldar and Slanesh and stuff, and just put those in Crusade games. You want to play the narrative fluffy game, great, more power to you, bro. But go and play Crusade. Don't bring that to tournaments. So I'd much rather they left all of that out and just focused on getting that balance across the board correct. Why to everything, you nutcase? The box I have with everything from one set of conquest is ridiculous enough. Fair. I played Road Trader in 1988 and came back in 8th with Death Guard. Horton Spartan, you are a fucking legend. I never played Road Trader, but I had the book. I managed to get the book at a car boot sale not long after I started playing 40k, which I want to say was something like 91, 92. I can't remember when the box came out. But for Christmas, I got the 40k box set, the second edition 40k box set. That was fairly new at the time, and my mum played a very cruel practical joke on me. You're 44, mate, I'm catching up to you. Not quite hit the 4-0 yet, but not long to go. In fact, speaking of birthdays, exclamation point gift. This isn't me begging for a gift. Fuck no, we don't do that. This is me telling you I'm going to give you a gift on my birthday. Bit painting Khan. Here he is, the brand new Khan of Betrayal model. I say brand new, it's just a couple of years old now, but it's such an epic sculpt. Such an epic sculpt. We're going to paint this in the blue and white pre-Heresy era color scheme because it's clearly the best one. But we need to know how to base him, and so the straw pole that's in that link down. God, that's. How does this move? That way. There we go. Down there. It's the mirrored camera thing. It throws me off every time. Go vote. Go choose how you would like him based. And if you're a subscriber and you're on Tuesday night, we're starting to stream early at 4, and the giveaway will be kicked off right from the get-go, so you can all get a chance of being in. If you're a subscriber, you could have him. Potentially. If you're the lucky name drawn out of the hat, he's yours. So, there you go. Pro Jam, what up, bro? Blue and white. So, Shark in the Box, that was one of the options on the color palette, was to do a, not in the color palette, on the poll, was to have a color palette that was blue and white, plus some of the new school paint colors. Now, that'll probably happen anyway, because I can't see me painting Gorechild in anything that doesn't have red on it. I just can't. It's Angron's fucking blade, man. It needs to be. So that will probably have a little bit of red on it. We're obviously going to be using a nice dark gold for the armor trim. So there's going to be elements of the old school paint scheme coming in anyway. But it's going to be cool. Only played Road Trader and stopped 1991, so no one played 40k with. Damn, man. I always wanted to play Rogue Trader, but I basically had one friend that played toys. I mean, growing up, I basically had one friend, so that narrowed down the field quite considerably. And Rogue Trader, from reading the book, it said you need 3 people to play because you needed a games master, because the game was set up to be kind of a story-driven battle game, which was super cool. Like that's pretty epic. But I didn't have another friend, and then certainly didn't have anyone else that could play toys, and my parents were definitely not interested. In fact, I had a conversation with my old man the other day. He was talking about like how I'm getting on with everything post redundancy and so on. And I explained what's going on. And he went, "Wow, I'm really, really impressed that you're managing to turn this into a career. I'm really sorry. I remember saying to you when you were a kid that all this was a complete waste of time and money and everything. And I'm really impressed that you've made it something that isn't." Still waiting to do a masterclass in non-metallic metal on a Custodes. That's unlikely to happen because I'm not that painter. I can do non-metallic metal gold. I can't really do non-metallic metal silver. That one I need a lot more practice with. My gold's pretty good, like for cartoon, not for realistic. Pro Jam, it's my birthday. But there you go. There's my NMM gold, and it's passable, right? It's definitely looks like gold, and it's super simple as well. Like, so I can definitely teach someone how to do that. It's basically purple, brown, light brown, and yellow. That's all. Nothing crazy. But I'm the last person to do a masterclass on non-metallic gold. I can do a beginner's guide to non-metallic gold, but a masterclass is nah. Doing better than that's to Des. I've got faith in you. I can't do NMM anything. Well, fair. I know someone that's got a non-metallic metal Custodes army. He's a decent guy. He's a political analyst, I want to say. And so he's obviously somebody that really enjoys being bored. Dr. Gonzo World, how you doing? Thank you for that follow and welcome to the stream. What time is it? 20 past 1. Cool. We've got about 40 minutes or so before we start working into the work in progress gallery, because I need to finish at 2:30 today. I've got things I need to do this afternoon at specific times, so I need to keep the stream on time. But Pro Jam, the stream's birthday is going to be towards the end of April, about the 25th, and it's going to be a fun one. We're doing a giveaway, obviously, same as we did last year, but it's going to be both bigger and smaller at the same time. You guys can have a think about what that might be. Last year, we gave away a custom, hand-carved, hand-sculpted, and then hand-cast in resin Chaos Knight. Darker Design! What up, bro? You'd love a tutorial / beginner's guide on non-metallic metal? We can get it. Can't believe that was a year ago. Yeah, close to, man. Close to. Last weekend of April, we'll be celebrating. So, yeah, lots of fun. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of fun. Someone to order that kit for Balefire. Yeah, man. It's a good kit. It really, really is a good kit. And we did a lot of giveaways on that. We had some support from other communities as well, which was epic. And I didn't ask for anyone's support either. That was just like, oh, why don't would you like a prize from us? It was just what happened. I'm like, fuck, man, that's amazing. But we gave away the mini that we painted. It was a raffle. We gave away the conversion kit so you could do your own. And then when we got past a certain number of tickets sold, we then added to that giveaway that I'd buy you a night as well, so you could make the whole conversion. And then the third giveaway, we basically had like stretch goals. If we sold a certain number of tickets, we'd unlock another prize. The third one was any of Games Workshop's Titanic sort of scale kits. So things like Knights, Bane Blades, and so on. That ended up going to Inks, and she decided that she didn't like any of the 40k kits because she was a painter more than a gamer. And so she ended up with the Lizardman, Carnosaur, Old One, Saurus dude. That was the Knight, the one that's just gone past there. That was him. Thranos. That was it. We voted on the name for the Knight on the stream. That was cool. And we got one of those versatile terrain nameplates printed up for him. Thranos the World Breaker. He was epic. But I'm not gonna give away any of the plans that we've got for this year's streamiversary. I'll have to tell you, like I said, that slightly cryptic clue. It is both bigger and smaller than the last giveaway. And because it's the game that I love, I'll also straight up tell you, it's still 40k. Still 40k. It's going to be epic, though. I mean, you think the hashtag New Year, New Army is a good one. Breaker of Stars. That was it. That was it. Breaker of Stars. It's not a bigature. It's not a bigature. Like I said, you'll be able to use this in games with 40k. Sounds like a Catan name. It does, doesn't it? Definitely like an ancient god, which I feel is perfectly appropriate for Chaos Knights. Perfectly appropriate between Chaos Knights. Love the transition between blue and purple. Thank you very much, dude. It was fun. It's an interesting set of transitions because, like we were saying earlier on, you get that desaturated patch, and you've got to break through it. And the way that we did it on this mini, and it's mostly apparent on the shoulder pads, is by going super bright. So your eye is drawn from the dark purple. You see a lot of that, but it's drawn right up to that bright blue. Silent King? Not Silent King. Not Silent King. In fact, let me give you another piece of the puzzle, guys. I don't know what I'm painting yet. But I do know that you guys will get to decide. Pets85, cheers for that follow. Daddy Tubbs, what up, bro? With changes to Armiger points, I'm unsure in my 1500 point list that runs 6 Armigers and 1 Crusader to drop 2 Armigers and run with 4 and 2 Crusaders. Is there an or? It's in a box. I'll know what I'm painting before it arrives at my doorstep, put it that way. And no 3D printing. Unless we decide that there's like accessories to be made. I'm gonna keep the clues as cryptic as possible. Because obviously we're gonna do the unveil at some point in probably March. Some point in March. It's not in my box. Brilliant. Brilliant. Oh, it's going to be a great weekend stream and someone's going to get a hell of a prize. Absolute hell of a prize. I really want to tell you guys, but I'm not going to. I'm excited about it though. That's what you need. Jabolion says, "Hey, someone called Whiteface gave me a sub. I just want to say thanks, yo. Whitefaces, if you're still here, mate. Again, thank you for that gift sub a thon that you threw out earlier on. Jabolion, welcome to the stream, dude. Good to see you here. Being a sub is a really good thing here because we do 2 giveaways a month. One of which, between now and the end of the month stream, I will give you a load of channel points for. Not channel points, sorry. Channel currency for, so you can enter and buy your raffle tickets. That'll be on the 31st of January, where you could win a £50 hobby voucher to the hobby stockist of your choice. In whatever currency as well. £50 worth of. Or you could even win a miniature painted by me in the colour scheme of your choice, such as the one we're doing now. This Armiger that we're currently painting was a prize in last month's giveaway. Working on some Plague Marines now and got you on to the side. Nice, dude. Very nice. No. I said it was 40k. It is 40k. You're going to use this in your games of 40k. For definite. Remember, I said it was a prize that was both bigger than and at the same time smaller than a knight. But I also said that I don't know what I'm painting yet. So how will I know what it is, but not what it is, but also know that it's smaller than a knight, but bigger than a knight? How does any of that come together to make sense? All those statements are true. Some of them are figuratively true. Some of them are actually true. Is it a 40k tape measure? No. No, it isn't. I think well done, you've won a tape measure would be a really, really shit announcement prize, but maybe we'll throw one in. In fact, I'm relatively convinced there'll be an element of measuring implement in your prize. All I can tell you is it's going to be great. Jabolion, that's great, man. I'm glad you have get the lurking element of the stream down. Don't be afraid of chatting though, but I appreciate you being here either way. I cannot chat when I go into other streamers' streams. I can't, because I'm normally working and I can't paint and type at the same time. And I need to get my head down and paint, and so at that point, obviously, I stop working as soon as I start chatting, and everything's gone to shit then. Productivity is dead. But I'm glad you're here though, bro. You're sending a banana on the prize? No. No. Not a fully UK TARDIS, no. I'd love an actual Titanfall model, not even sure if they make them. There's going to be someone that's got like a 3D sculpt of something like that, I'm sure. They're cool. I still haven't finished Titanfall 2. I haven't played it in months now. At some point we'll find time. Ooh, video games. Who would be interested when it's released in a Darktide community games night? I think that could be cool as fuck. I'm loving the look of the game right now. You haven't finished campaign Titanfall 2? No, not yet. Not yet. Which one is Darktide? Darktide is like Left 4 Dead set in 40k. I haven't played Vermintide. I hate first-person hack and slash games. Oh, it just annoy me. I know there's an element of that to Darktide, but I also know guns exist in Darktide. So, yes, you might have to conserve your ammo a little bit here and there, but the hack and slash part is part of the game rather than the game. PC, yes, PC. I don't own a console. And I have no interest in buying one either. My PC may be optimized for streaming, but it will smash the fuck out of any video game I put on it. It's pretty goddamn powerful. JC, what up, bro? A couple of picks up, literally only 2 this time. Good lad. Good a picture you've seen before, but blew you away the first time. Not because of the painting, just what was in the picture. Ooh. Ooh, interesting. Ooh, we'll look forward to seeing that in the whip. That's going to come up in about half an hour or so. So if you've got something you'd like to share, put some pics up. Ideally 3 or less, otherwise I will end up skipping past some just to give everyone else their fair shot of getting their minis shown on stream. But exclamation point whip, exclamation point Discord. Show me what you've been working on. So a PS4 in a lounge convenience, how are you for PC game? Fair. Faces and bases, yo bro. White Cast Guide was spot on. I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. I really am. Exclamation point YouTube. We uploaded a video yesterday. We upload a video every 2 weeks to YouTube and every 2 weeks to Patreon. So they kind of alternate between the two. And this week's painting tutorial on YouTube was how to paint white without using an airbrush, using literally just 3 colors. Literally just 3 colors. That's it. And you get a white that takes some time. You know, it's not necessarily a super quick process. There's no... You ever hear the old, like, the old saying, the old adage, you can have something good, fast, or cheap, but you can only pick 2 of the 3. So if it's cheap, then... sorry. If it's cheap... that's not any better. If it's cheap, then it's fast, but it ain't good. You know. Craig the Celt getting his sub on. How you doing, brother? 4 months in. Really appreciate it. It was sorcery. It wasn't sorcery. How did you find it, like, to follow along with? Because filming it was a bit tricky, trying to pick up the differences in the whites. Because obviously you start off with grey, but on camera next to all the dark blue, grey, black, it looks white until suddenly it doesn't look white because you've put in a lighter colour and it looks... I find that quite tricky to film. I arrive and I'm getting the finger for my sub. Mate, if anyone deserves it, anyone deserves it. I slipped with the knife yesterday while getting a pilot hole in and full on jabbed it right into this finger. And I sent my missus a text saying I just managed to slip and stab myself right in the finger. I feel like a complete bellend. She asked which finger because she's also quite protective of my fingers for no reason that I'm going to go into on stream. And my reply was, it was the middle finger on my left hand. I'm pretty sure that's my second favourite finger. First favourite, of course, being the middle finger on my right hand. Also potentially the most used. But yeah, I was doing the Castellan robots. Castellan robots. They are fully mags. So here's a robot looking all cool, living his best life, no hands. Here's a gigantic pot of bits. There you go. Have 2 of those guns and 1 of those guns. Absolute unit. Let's go G mode. Why not? And then let's assume that what you really want to do is exactly what I want to do, probably 9 days out of 10, which is just Hulk smash the shit out of everything. This was on the wrong arm, but boom, there you go, have your Hulk smash hands. So, fully magnetized. That's going to be part of the next video we do. And it's going to be how to use shipping fluid to create actually realistic battle damage, because not only do you have the effect of bullets or blades or whatever, but you actually have a 3D effect where you are peeling up the paint and causing actual damage to your paint scheme. It's a really cool way of doing en masse battle damage. I think it was really easy to follow. You had panels of greys next to where you were working as a comparison, but the fact you showed us how to build up the layers was the important bit for me. Deceptively simple. It really is. It really is, mate. People go on about volumetric highlights, which is what we did. I hope I explained that well enough in the video. What I should have done is get a little reference pic of what I was talking about with like the ball and so on. And put it on the video, I think. But people think the volumetric highlights are super difficult, and they're not. You just go with the flow on what you think should be brighter, and you keep applying a highlight to it until it is. But a lot of things in the miniature painting world I find are overthought because they're deemed to be complicated, arty things, and therefore are difficult, when that really isn't normally the case. And just that little, quite thin set of brush strokes just does it. Played the 40k game with a Tech Priest Inquisitor, 3 of those custom bots doing all the work. Oh man, was that the VR one? I'd love to play that. I haven't played a VR game since they had VR headsets that were about the size of an Xbox that you'd put on your head. And that was a long time ago. I'd love to give it a go now with the new VR technology that we've got. Okay, Oh, Battle Sisters. That was the VR one. That was the VR one. Cool. Nice. Oh, I might have to give that a go then. I can't afford it. Well, I can't afford a VR headset setup, but I know that if I bought one, I'd spend way too much time pissing about with that and doing things like there was a zombie game that I saw. This is the first VR thing that I saw, and it was a video split into two parts of screen. On one side, it was the view in the game of somebody shooting zombies as they ran towards them, and on the other side, it was this chick who was playing the game being filmed by her boyfriend. Arizona Sun, I don't know the name of the game. It was a zombie game. And she starts off, she's sort of turning around like this. And she's like, oh, bang, and shoots one. Bang, and shoots one. And he gets one near her. And she's like, ah, shit! Shoots one. And she gets more and more completely fucking spooked by this thing. It's hilarious. I imagine that would be me, but I'd end up trying to punch the zombie or something. And might damage myself / walls / furniture, etc. Knowing me, I'd end up putting my fist through the cabinet or something, and that would not be a good idea. Anyone got a good suggestion for a spear / glaive / curved sword for a White Scar Vanguard vet? I want to give him a relic blade, but make it suit the army style more. Try the new undead army for Warhammer, the Egyptian dudes. Morton? Osriarch Bone Reapers. I might even have got that right. I think they're sort of Tomb Guard looking guys have got curved swords. Granite Halberd's not really curved enough. Haggis Hunter, how you doing? Scarab Occult. That could be cool. They could be a little bit too chaosy and not enough White Scar. But you might have to just sort of take the blade off and mount the blade onto a handle. You're playing Bone Reapers right now? Nice, dude. Give us a shot in the whip when you're feeling up for it. Inquisitor Roback. Hello, what camera do you use? Any lenses? It's nice and sharp. So, yes, there's a lens. I completely missed who that follower was. Give me a sec. Scratching my eye. Gebso, thanks for the follow. This is the camera. It's a Panasonic Lumix GX85 or GX80, depending on where you are in the world. It's the same camera, but for some weird reason, if you're in America, then it has one serial number. If you're in the UK, it's another one, and it might even have another name if you're in Europe. I can't remember. It's weird how they do this. And it's just a stock lens, but it is sharp. Like, I'm sure someone could screenshot and fucking steal my fingerprints at this stage. But yeah, we get a really, really good picture with it. It's taken some fucking around with to get to that stage. I've had the camera since April, and it was only about 4 months or so ago that I feel I finally got everything set up right to maximize its potential. Unlike a webcam, it's a lot less plug and play, but it's a solid camera. Also, bear in mind that if you are going to be a streamer, or if you maybe already are a streamer, if you are, let us know, and we'll give you a shout out, and I'll give you a follow. But if you are looking at using one for streaming, you'll need a capture card as well. And I have an Elgato capture card, which is a 4K 60 capture card. It means it takes video in 4K at 60 frames a second, and through an HDMI cable allows that to be used as a source. So you need both both bits. Now the combined setup cost of that is about, with this particular camera, about 700 quid. So it's not cheap. Certainly a GoPro is much further down the scale in terms of money, but also obviously the quality as well, and getting the colors and everything else, because the vibrancy is the important part, I think, for my kind of painting anyway, where I try and do a lot of bright colors and finishes on things. I need to have that vibrancy. But it's a really, really good camera. It takes great pictures, obviously, so we use it for all of the finished shots that we put up on social media and so on. I love it. It's a solid thing. I'm looking at potentially buying another lens for it at some point, for better macro photography, which is for those that have absolutely no idea of photography, and I am unfortunately one of those people. I'm kind of muddling it out and learning it as I go along. Macro photography is when you're taking pictures of stuff super close. So we've all seen photos of like a leaf or a flower or whatever that's just finished being rained on, and you can see every little tiny droplet of water in crystal clear outline and stuff. It's wow. You don't just plug camera straight into your PC and select that as a source. No, you can't. You need a capture card for it. To get it at the proper resolution without the sort of stuttering and everything else, that's what I was led to believe, and it works for me. So we'll go into 40k. Oh, it's a big question. For me, it's going to a friend's house when he was painting his Eldar, wanted GW later to start painting some Marines. Fast forward, God, years later, I spent way too much money on the hobby, who hasn't, and I have 5 cabinets full of stuff. I would definitely not strap this camera to a dog sent in the sea. No. GoPros have their place, such as when you're riding a skateboard or a scooter, or whatever else it might be, and you want to get those action shots. That's why they're cheap and well armored. They need to be sort of in harm's way and potentially disposable when you completely bail on a trick. What got me into 40k? Well, I grew up not as an only child, but as someone that basically did not get on with their sister, and frankly still don't. Get a job, you lazy bitch. And so all of my own fun, my own entertainment had to be made by me. And so I was very much a child that lived in his own imagination. We had a large garden where I grew up, which was nice. So when I was told you've got to go outside and play, I'd be running around the garden pretending to fight dragons and ninjas and all that sort of shit. And so I've always had an imagination and an affinity for sci-fi and fantasy style games. And I remember being given a computer when I was 4. My computer's in the 80s and computers now. There is a gulf between the two that is very large. My computer ran on cassette tapes. Now, there are people in the chat that will have never seen a cassette tape because, frankly, you are babies and very, very young in comparison. But this is how the world used to work before everything existed in the cloud and on the internet. So my video game system would take 20 minutes to load a game, and that taught you patience to begin with. It was Spectrum? No, it was an Amstrad CPC 464. The classy bitch, right? Cassette and pencil is a great test for young people. See if they can figure out a correlation between the two objects. Winding the tape back. So yeah, that was a computer I had, and the reason I bring that up was this is how we got into Games Workshop. So I had a couple of games for the computer that ran on tape. Some of them would come free with a magazine, and we didn't have a lot growing up. My parents weren't wealthy by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, by today's standard of living, I'd say that we were quite a poor family. We had all the material things we needed, and I mean needed, like clothes and shoes and a good house and things like that, but we didn't have anything that we just wanted, like frivolous purchases. So everything had to come on a budget, basically. Oh, sorry, I'm not crying, I'm just going to sneeze. I'm trying to fight it back. Anyway. Oh my god, Chucky Egg, yes. Ghosts and Goblins was fucking brilliant. Dizzy was also epic, and that came in green screen for the first one anyway, regardless of what color monitor you had. Cassette changes between rounds on Street Fighter. So I had Street Fighter. It didn't have a cassette change, but it was a 20-minute load for each round. So if you won, you kind of lost at the same time. And fuck Sagat later on in the game with the constant spam of Tiger Fireballs, high or low, depending on where you were. I never beat Sagat. Never beat Sagat. Such a bastard. Anyway, we walked past a Games Workshop. Totally didn't lose the headphones then. Oh. Yeah, we walked past a Games Workshop, and I asked my mum if I could go in, because I assumed, like people even do, maybe not what's called Warhammer now, but when they were still called Games Workshop, you would assume incorrectly that perhaps it sold computer games as well as whatever else. And obviously we all know GW didn't. But I remember going in and being absolutely fucking captivated by the display on the table. Many years ago. Oh my god, proper nose runs now. GW minis were metal. And occasionally both metal and plastic. So you'd have... Sorry guys, excuse me. I didn't mute. That's better. Yeah, you'd have metal bodies and plastic arms, and so you couldn't just put that in a cardboard box because the metal rattling around would, it would shatter everything, and it would break the box and everything else. So what they used to do is they'd put everything in a little polystyrene tray, and the tray would be a section about this big as like the main bottom of it, and then two smaller squares that would take up the top part. And Games Workshop Cheltenham, which was the closest town to where I grew up, had made an entire table out of these boxes that they'd smashed down a load of walls, which obviously the polystyrene between the areas were walls. Pure models of plastic parts of proper paint. Mate, this was back when they were lead. This was before they got to the white metal stage of Games Workshop. They were properly bad for your health. But yeah, I remember vividly seeing this table of all of these like ruined buildings and Ultramarines everywhere. Now at the time I didn't know they were Ultramarines. I just remember these blue bodies with red guns and yellow bits. And that's how I know they're Ultramarines. And I was about 8 years old. So this puts it at somewhere in really early 90s, like 90 or 91. And it would have been probably Ultramarines versus Orcs, which was what was in the box set of Warhammer 40,000 at the time. And that would have been 2nd edition Warhammer 40,000. And for that Christmas, that's when I got 40k, because that was what I wanted. But I remember getting some free catalogues from the store, which were just like their product catalog. They used to give them out. Now, of course, everything's online and you kind of get directed to a website. But back then, they used to have this little tiny magazine that had pictures of all their different games that they had. And I remember, because I had to make my own fun, and we couldn't just randomly buy a load of stuff, I sat at home and I kind of worked out my own rules and used little scraps of paper with things written on and played a version of the game that I made myself, by myself. They had a game that I never got the chance to play and always wish I had, because the miniatures for it I thought were the most beautiful thing. It's a game called Man-O-War. Anyone recognise this name? Man-O-War. I'll answer Danny's question while we're talking about it. Jay, what does my fucking airbrush just stop spraying? Happily painting, then just sounds like you're spitting, but no paint. Probably a clog. Remember, the air doesn't come out of the same hole that the paint comes out of inside the needle. So if you take the cap cover off, you'll see a little hole. That's where the air comes out. The paint does not come out the same hole. So almost certainly a clog. Thin your paint a little bit more, use a bit more flow improver. It is a band, but it isn't. That's not what we're talking about. You still play your old Hammer group? Oh, motherfucker. But yeah, it's fantasy ship combat. So imagine a board that was the sea, and you're basically playing with boats that are on super small scale. So it's like Adeptus Titanicus scale, but for fantasy ships. I always wanted to play that. The miniatures for it looked outstanding. Like the elven fleets and so on were painted extremely well. They were really bright. Fuck it. Let's get a picture. Let's see if I can find a picture and I'll show you guys. Oh man, this takes me back. So this was the box. Okay. Orcs and dwarves. That was the box. And artwork like this, yeah, this super bright, super colourful stuff that you see there. This is a big influence to my style of painting. This is the kind of thing that grabs your attention. Like, look at these. The models are fucking terrible by today's standards. They really, really are. But they're very, very cool. There's the elf ones. I mean, they're not painted particularly well, but remember, each of those little boats is probably only about that across. I'd love to find some of the official GW. That's not it. That's Dreadfleet, which is a different thing. Here you go. Fucking hell. Look at these, right? The Black Leviathan was a beast that you could get in the game. It looks so bad. So bad. But my god, they're brilliant. I loved this as a kid. I never got a chance to play it. I have no idea what that is. Is that the Chaos Dwarfs? It is. This is the Chaos Dwarfs. Look at those. Look at how shit those minis are. But just epic. Absolutely epic. But I always wanted to play this game based on this one picture in the Space Marine guide. There you are. There's some Khorne Iron Sharks. Iron Sharks, of course. Of course. There's the Slanesh boats. Hell Rammer and Hell Slicer. The Slaneshi Hell Rammer. That brings up the wrong kind of images right there. But yeah, this was a game, and I wanted to play that. I really wanted to play that, just because of some of the images in the books. Those little free catalogs I received. And then, this is the cruelest trick ever, right? So, my mum was known for joke presents. So this one year, and she'd always play them on my dad. So this one caught me right out. This one year, for my old man, she bought him a tape, a cassette tape again, that was something to do with like bird watching. Basically, it was a recording of all of these different noises and calls that birds would make. And my old man fished a lot, so he was always out in nature. He was outside building quite a lot, so again, constantly surrounded by wildlife and so on. And I think her idea was, well, he'll be able to hear a bird and go, oh, that's a insert bird here. And she bought this tape, and then she bought a blank cassette. She got a friend that worked at an office to recreate the label that was on the official tape, and then made myself and my sister help her come up with joke bird calls for this tape. So we recorded into the tiny microphone on a cassette recorder things like a cuckoo clock going off, and that was a cuckoo, and I can't even remember some of the other stuff. And that was the sort of joke that she thought was hilarious, and she wanted to play. And she got me with this. So for Christmas, I'm hoping for Warhammer 40,000. That's what I want. It's what I've literally sat there in my room, bored, imagining myself being able to play with the cardboard dreadnought and everything. That's what I wanted. I got Warhammer 40,000, and I was buzzing my tits off. I was so excited! I ripped off the cellophane cover, opened the box to the new box 40k smell, which has a particular smell. Like, everyone that's opened a new 40k box game knows exactly what I'm talking about with that. And I was greeted with the sight of a load of rule books piled up on one side, a load of cardboard terrain to make piled up on the same side, and about 1,000 green plastic army men that she put in this box. I'm just looking down, like, and I was not a happy bunny. I was extremely upset with my mother for playing that joke. I wanted Space Marines and Orcs, even the dumbass Gretchen, the Grots, with their stupid helmets. That's what I wanted. Cardboard dreadnoughts, yes, not Sarge and Friends, which is what I got. And after throwing the obvious idiot child tantrum and being sent to my room to calm down, then I was given my toys. It was brutal. It was brutal, man. Like, whew. Super unhappy. But yeah, that was my start in 40k. And then we got Dark Millennium, which was you had to buy the Dark Millennium expansion for 40k, so you could use things like Psychers in your games. They did that for all of their game systems though. So Warhammer Fantasy had the like Winds of Magic box. Sana79, thank you for that follow and welcome. She gave you an Imperial Guard army. That's one way of thinking about it. One thing I really missed though about the old 40k box was the amount of thought that went into the lore aspects of it. So right now, you want to get into 40k, you go and buy yourself the Command Edition, Elite Edition, I don't know which one it was, of Warhammer 40,000. And bingo bongo, you have all the rules and you have some toys and away you go. That's great. Congrats. Well done. Back then, you had 3 books in the main game. You had the rule book, which was great because obviously you needed that. Then you had a bestiary, which I thought was the most amazing thing. And in the bestiary, you would have like a breakdown, a lowdown on everything that existed in Warhammer 40,000. So you had, here is an Eldar man, and this is what Eldar dudes have, and away you go. Like, cool, happy days. Now I understand Eldar stuff. But they also gave you, and this actually was the coolest thing. The bestiary was good, but this was the coolest thing. A war gear book. And the war gear book had a little picture of whatever item of war gear it was about to tell you about. So all of the Tyranid bio stuff was in there. Obviously not the full range that they currently have because it's been expanded upon and new things have been invented. But it would tell you about how a flesh borer worked. And then it would tell you alongside it like exactly what it did. And it pulled no punches. It was grim. I loved that. Having all of that lore in there, that was fantastic. Nowadays, I haven't even read the lore parts of the book. I don't think you've even turned to those pages at all. But, you know. What a horrible trick. Fancy boxing something shit up as something great. Des, what have you done? I did that to my niece when she was 5. Bought her a princess castle, took all the contents out of the box, hid it behind the sofa, and in the box was just some socks. Wow. GW open days, yes. God, I remember their mega sales. Where you'd walk into a Games Workshop and there'd be a load of offers on for various things. These happened once a year. It was every year in something like February normally, right? After the Christmas rush is gone, everyone's spent all their Christmas money, and you're then trying to get a little bit more out of your regular patrons. And you'd walk in and there'd be a load of deals for ways that you could buy an army and get sort of free units or something. But then usually down the middle of the shop where you'd play games, instead of having gaming tables, they'd have this gigantic pile of blister packs, which everything came in. So you know now you get minis in these little clamshell things, like just down here. Where it used to be that every mini would come in that, unless it was a box set of something. But almost everything was like 2 or 3 metal miniatures in a pack like that to make up your units. And they just have fucking mountains of these blister packs on the tables all over the joint. And they'd all have been priced way below their retail thing. Bought my sister some chocolates for her birthday and put a 25-inch TV box one year. Didn't even get her a TV. Nice. Nice. I did the other way round for my girlfriend's birthday in November. So I bought something for her. And I can't remember if I've said this on stream before or not. But I bought her a gift. And it was 2 separate items that made up one gift. And I wanted to put them in a box together as one thing. And I only found one box that fit them both in. And because I'd bulk bought some washing machine tablets, it was that. So I thought, all right, this is going to be fun. Let's see how she reacts. We've been going out a couple of months. This will either go over really, really well or really, really badly. And I'm kind of excited to find out which way it will go, because I'll get a lot of information about her and how the relationship will go. Rocky, what up, dude? So I wrapped up this this box of bold 2-in-1 washing machine tablets in some nice wrapping paper, and I gave her that in bed on the morning of her birthday. I was like, right, there you go, happy birthday. And she opened it, and it's a box of washing tablets, and she was like, okay, thanks, they're actually the ones I use. Cheers. That was it. It's like, yep. You're good. Well done. Well done. And then I told her to open the box, and it was 2 of the brand new Alexa Echo Dots, because she loves listening to music. Music is a big thing for her. And so she's got one of those in the bedroom, one of those in the living room, and it was basically the cheapest way of buying some sort of Sonos setup for her. So she's always got music wherever she is in her house. So, yeah, good present, but we went the other way. Like, here's a box of shit with a diamond on the inside. Hey, Des, I'm actually painting, Jay. Well, about to paint. I built 3 minis and base coated them last night. Nice, dude! What are you going to paint? Is this the Stormcast? Was it Stormcast you ended up buying? It was, right? Oh, also, Des, do you know when those Conquest... Is it Conquest? You know what I mean, the Warhammer magazine. Do you know when the ones that you told me to buy with the flying horseman dude? Alright? I've still got that Forbidden Planet order I put in a couple of... It feels like a couple of months ago. Anyway, we're about to go into the whip. I'm just getting this little bit of armor trim painted black. And then we will move into the work in progress gallery. So if you've got something you'd like to show off in 3 pictures or less, exclamation point whip or exclamation point Discord, come and join in. We've got around 500 people, in fact over 500 people now, on our Discord server. We get a nice little community there. So come and join in. I promise you, I also don't spam everyone with @everyone all the time. I hate that shit. We don't have like go live notifications on or anything like that. So if I actually use @everyone, and I frequently use @here instead, because I hate all that fucking spam, then don't worry about it. We'll keep you covered. Mortal Realms. Cool. So today, we've done all of the finishing touches to the colour on our panels. We did all of the washes, we did all the highlights, and then we've blocked in all of the black for our armor trim and so on. These all go on to the big lad himself. I'll pop on there. This bit will probably be black as well to help just give a nice border to these sections. But as you can see, very, very, very colourful night. On tomorrow night's stream, where we start at 9 PM, not only will we unveil the next item in our list of giveaways to go alongside Gorzag and Nickit, we will be painting some more on this. We might even get to some freehand tomorrow. It depends on how quickly we get through the rest of painting that black, mixing up some grey highlights and so on for it, keeping it kind of matte, a little bit dull, not wanting to take away too much from the bright blues. So lots to go on tomorrow evening. Let's go see what you guys have been working on over in the whip, though. Hey, hello. Cool. So today, 11:28, Mr. Enigma. First attempt at Zenithal. It's highlighted the mold lines that I've missed. At least I can find them before I paint this time. Yes, it's very, very, very good at doing that. Right there on the fist, you can see it just jumps out a mile. Any airbrush work on a miniature with a mold line will really, really highlight your mold lines. It's the new prize of Hellrammer. Could be. Probably not. But Patreons of video viewer or higher in the Patreon exclusive areas on Discord get to vote on what goes in. So if you haven't voted yet, go and vote. Try the same webbing. I tried a newer Tyranid Gargoyle mods on the metal ones, but I'm kind of on the fence if it works. Okay, man, put it in the whip and we'll let you know. And also Rocky, awesome. Yeah, any airbrush work you do will highlight mold lines. You're going to see every single one of them in extreme detail because of the way the paint goes on the model. So if you see them even halfway through painting, just clean them up and then deal with the mess that you've made afterwards. Jan, back from the shopping, picked up a couple of new sneaky stouts for the day. That's it, mate. I've got a bottle of Founders Kentucky Breakfast Stout for this afternoon / this evening. It's from the 2019 run. Can't wait to get into that later on. That's some banging stout. Love this guy. That piggy tusk face, that's great. Nice, dude. Get some paint on him. So here's Jan. Came back just in time. This is sick. I like this, dude. This is very, very cool. That loot is awesome. Very purpley skin tone. Goes very well against everything else that you've used there as well. I like it. If we get a shout out for Jan in chat. Got a walnut whip stout and a tiramisu stout from Ballykilcaven Brewery just down the road. I've got some tiramisu stouts from London Beer Factory, I think it is, called Zaya. They're really nice. That's tasty. Yeah, I like this guy. Lovely work as always, mate. I'm not fully convinced about the pinstripe trousers. I'm not sure about them. I don't know why. I think the lines aren't straight enough. I don't know if that matters or even if that's the fix. Talk about old school packaging, look in general. Okay, we'll do in a bit, mate. But I love it. Great work. Oh, and here's the diorama base. 120mm square base. Then building the top out of sculpture block, resin bits, etc. And this guy goes with 4 gremlins, you were saying. Line shouldn't be straight as he's wearing hose for stretch line. Oh, okay. Okay. Would they change in width as well? I didn't even know where I'd start on something like that. Reference material is where I'd start, I think. Can you imagine your Google search on that one, though? Chunky thighs wearing tight hose. It's like, no. No, don't search that. Commissar Bob, bit of a speed paint Necron, needed to get it done quick. It is a speed paint Necron. Nothing wrong with it though, bro. You know, you knew you were going for a fast finish on it. Sorted, get a base done there, and then carry on, do the next one. To a lot of photos of girls wearing striped tights to see where and how the lines shift weight. Yeah, I'm sure you did, Chan. I'm sure that was the hardest part of your job. JC, oh yeah. I love the Chaos Knights. They're great minis, especially that double jointed leg they've got going on. I think it's fucking lush. All in the name of art and research, of course. Yeah. For anyone that uses reference materials, what's the weirdest thing you've searched? Because mine was rotted turkey meat. Ugh. It's not a good search. Some of those images are very, very visceral. And that was for a Great Unclean one. The one that you'll occasionally see down here, the one that's white and blue with purple bits. Yeah. Be careful trying to get an effect on something. JC, this is great, dude. I do love that fucking chainsaw looks like the horriblest thing to get hit by. Oh, and here we are. This is JC's night collection. Was it 42? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 red ones. So that's 10 and 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 6. So 17 plus 14. Oh, so nowhere near 42 on that photo. I think you had 42. That's something to do your... I can't remember. But yeah, this is an epic collection, and more so when you realise, of course, that those are all 40k knights. Ripped open muscle fibre. Oh, and necrotizing fasciitis is that's a grim one to search. Don't search black rim jobs at all. Any horrible skin conditions, they're bad ones. Furion, just starting Ultramarines chapter, first company ancient conversion. Nice, dude. Oh, this is Alethan. Right, great. Now I can put a name to a name. Nice, dude. Can he have a Thunderhammer and a flag? Is that a thing? Okay. Nice though, man. Love the cape. That'll work out really, really well. So you've got some of the Ultramarine exclusive bits like the shoulder pad and so on. Nice. Good work. Keep it up. Let's see it when it's done. Cannibal. Looks like we are... Oh, that's Gulliman. Yeah, it's the Gulliman you said you're painting for sale. Nice. 30 in a picture, 9 are done. Need to get a new picture. Gotcha. 2D sprues. I don't need the most knights because mine are all magnetized, so I have the most knights anyway. Yep, all the variations. Just hoping the men in black suits never look at my search history. Yeah, bro. Nice, mate. Good luck on Bobby G. Oh, there's some classic Blood Angels work. Very 80s. There's a fat mold line down the face of that hammer, mate. Love that banner though, man. Yeah, cracking job. You get some highlights in on the red. Just some little ones. It also just helps. It's that tiny bit where you've got a little bit of yellow on the top left part of the banner. Just to help sort of even that out. Use the same highlight progression you've kind of done on the purity seals and stuff. Just keep it real small and you'll be away. Nice work there, Brad. Nice work. Shark in the box. Right, let's have a look. These metal gargoyles. I know what you mean. It's nowhere near as pronounced. Nowhere near as pronounced. I'm not the best painter, but home to selling for a bit of profit. Good luck, dude. Good luck. It's difficult selling painted models unless you are at a certain standard or above, I feel. I've seen a lot of pro-painted minis, and just because somebody paints and sells it for money does not make you a professional. It makes it your job. Doesn't make you a professional or a craftsman at all. But good luck with Bobby G, mate. He's a fun mini to paint until you get to painting all the trim, and then he is the most awful pain in the ass thing that you will ever paint that isn't a Helldrake. That's the great and clean one down there. And so yeah, good luck. These are nice, but I know what you mean. I don't think it's got the same amount of pop. So what I would do is I would get some of the colour you've used as the base coat before your stencil went over the top. And thin it down a little bit by hand and just brush that in. And start off with just some thin lines in between. So you have the... didn't use no stencil. Oh, how did you do it? I thought that was your process, was a stencil and then laying it down. In that case, if you didn't use a stencil, even easier, take your airbrush, thin out the paint that you used for that darker colour, and then just spray along following the lines. Just make it a bit more pronounced. Do you even use an airbrush? Have I got you completely mixed up with somebody else? But either way, whatever method you use, those lines need a bit more power behind them. Have no Irish. I have got you mixed up with somebody else. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, mate. It happens. Main unit, getting a lemon rust done. Looks good. I see some battle damage on there. Good colour scheme. Good colour scheme. Yeah, very damaged. I'd probably get a little bit of colour into that damage. So whether it is a little bit of orange or brown or so on, that's what I'd go with. And you could sponge it on, which I think is how you've done some of this, or it's been dry brushed on quite aggressively. But just get a little bit more in there to help give that a little bit of interest. I like what you've done though. Keep it up. Keep it up. And then the last one, Pinbot 5000 with the Blood Angels Indomitus Captain. Looking good, dude. Still got some things to do. I assume, at least. I would definitely get a wash on some of what you've got there. The sword, for definite. Some of your paint, I can see some pretty visible brush strokes in. It's supposed to be regular weathering. That's cool, man. Like I said, I would add some color to it just so that you have a bit more variation. It doesn't need to look like rust. It doesn't need to look like anything else. But it could look like you've gone through like whatever protective layer the tank has got and it's gone right into the armor panels for it. It could just look like environmental weathering on top of a little bit of weathering to the paint job, and so on. But that's essentially just my own personal preference. You know, the advice I give is only my own personal preference for all of this. But yeah, like I said, I can see a couple of visible paint lines, so go on a little bit thinner with your paint and maybe do 2 coats. Also, the whole mini looks a little bit glossy and shiny for me, so I'd maybe hit this with a matte varnish once you're done. Other than that, mate, looks good. I really like what you've done at the bottom of his tabard there and giving it that 2-tone stripe. That's a good one. I like that. Very nice, dude. Right, that is it. We're finished on time as well, which is really good. Remember, guys, Sunday we're going to add the next mini to our giveaway pool. Then we have our last one, which will be somewhere in the mystery box. So I can't tell you what that's all about. Don't forget, we'll be carrying on all of this stuff on tomorrow night's stream. We've still got the base to do, so we've got things going on with that. But tomorrow, live at 9 PM, we'll start working on all of the black armor trim, and ideally we'll even get to some freehand as well. One last time, we'll plug it, !gift, because on Tuesday it's my birthday and we're giving away Calm the Betrayer. So we're going to paint this in the old school blue and white color scheme of the Heresy era World Eaters. But we need to know what base to use. So !gift in the chat, get a link to the straw poll that's there. Go and vote for whatever you would like to see it painted as. Let's see what the results are currently. Actually, they're extremely close. Extremely close. We've not had a lot in the way of voting on this, so oh wow! Now we've got a little bit of change. So Red Marble was up there. Now it's Skulls and Blood coming in on the tail end of it. I'm liking it. Lava's just got a vote. Come on, everyone, get your votes in. This mini's going to you guys at the end of things, right? This isn't for me. This is for you. So on Tuesday, we're going to paint this guy. We're starting the stream at 4 in the afternoon, so it's an early start. The giveaway will be running for the whole thing. You won't need to be present to enter, so I appreciate on Saturdays, because of our different stream time, we can attract an audience from maybe different time zones. So be here, get your name in the hat, and then we will draw the winning ticket at midnight. And then it goes out to somebody as soon as it's finished. So there you are. Go get your votes in. Be here on Tuesday for that. But thank you for joining me today. Thank you to everyone that shared something in the whip as well, because I love that part of the show. That guy can shut up. Let's go and find someone to raid. Miniatures Den is on. We tend to raid them a lot. Actually, what I wanted to do, Mikey isn't on Twitch, which I expected. I expected it to be just on YouTube. So, what I wanted to search for, damn. Is it just as Biff Pod? Could be. Yes, it is. Brilliant. So we're going to go over to the Best in Faction podcast. I saw on Instagram earlier on today, they are doing some charity gaming. And what they're actually doing is playing 40k in order to raise money for cancer prevention. We've got a Knight/Imperial vehicle list versus Imperial Guard at the moment. And let's go and give them some support. Alright, end of the day, this is for a great cause. If nothing else, just go in there, cause some havoc, get some hosts going on if you can, really show them some love. Let's head there now. Thank you very much again to all of you for being here today. You guys are absolute bosses, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great weekend, everyone. Peace out.